Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Barry, that Goat Metal Show, along with my partners, Rich, the silent producer, Tone Joker NYC in full gear. We are with Lee Warhammer 666. All right, man. Welcome aboard again, man. Thanks a lot for agreeing to come on again. And anytime, bro, you are a guest here. Anytime. We'll probably even make you an official member of that Goat Metal Show if that's what it's gonna take, bro.
Yeah.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
be there
you
every
know,
single time. I'll sit here. I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
I mean, I
That's
don't,
awesome.
it might make Trevor a little jealous, but it's okay.
Yeah, well, he's got that luscious red beard.
I
He'll
know,
get
right?
over it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
We're not there yet.
yeah,
But speaking of which, I mean, before we even get into what's going on with you and with the new album and everything that's been going on, speaking, me and Rich are hardcore Fomorian Productions over here, and we're representing. He's rated a PG-13. I'm rated R, and just give us a quick update on some of the ins and outs of what's going on with Fomorian, and if there's anything new on the horizon.
yeah, yeah. At the moment, we just kind of made live the Fomorian Productions YouTube channel. So right now, it's got the my new album on it, and I kind of dicked around with the Ram It Up Your Ass CD, and I kind of put some new cool kind of twists in it. So I uploaded that to that. I'm in the process right now of doing Paul's new album for it. It takes a little bit of time because I'm making it all like what do they call it? It's dynamic. The backgrounds are all moving and shit.
Yeah, that's really
So
cool, man.
yeah.
That's
So
really cool.
I've been trying to upload all of the releases to that, and Trev's been doing little videos here and there so we can make that kind of start to build. So if anyone out there is, on my channel or this channel, the Fomorian Productions is the YouTube, which is just Fomorian Productions. It's all live, and we're putting all the releases on that. And when that kind of gets some numbers into it, we will, start doing some streams on that, just to kind of do updates on the whole thing. As far as the new stuff, yeah, we got finally fucking Ghoulish Dave. Jesus fucking
All
Christ, good on
right.
him.
Uh,
He's and the cool thing is that he is like a phenomenal player. Like you guys all know it. You've all heard the stuff. And I think I don't know if he took my drum machine video to heart, but he had a whole thing going on, and then he went out and he actually put a live drummer on this thing, I believe. That's why
Really?
it's taken so long. Yeah, so we were supposed to have his thing out. Oh, when was it was all supposed to be ready for Eddie's Realms of Rock record store opening. So he had bought some stuff off us, and we had sent it all up so we could have some Fomorian things in the store. And then we were going to keep feeding Eddie like all the promotional stuff, just so he could give it away with stuff that he sells. If he thinks you'd like it, he'd give it away. So Dave was supposed to go into that. And he's like, "Yep, no worries. We'll get it all done." And then we waited, and then I think his wife had to go in for an operation, so he became kind of the single mum for a while. And then it was like it stopped, and then Trevor was getting messages to say, "Oh, I sent you something, but don't use that." I was like, "All right." So then Eddie's store came and went. Then I'm like, "All right, well, we got my CD coming up. Let's go for that." And I was like, "Yep, it'll be with you the Saturday after today." So then Saturday comes, nothing. Next Saturday comes, nothing. And I said to Trevor, I said, "Is this guy still alive? Like, I haven't heard anything from him." And he's like, "I'll send him a message." And then my stuff went into production, and then it came back. And I'm like, "Dude, we got a date. We're not going to wait for this. We can't." So he missed that boat. And so now we're in this, we have it. I think we have it. Like he sent us something, and then right in like 0 hour, he's like, "I want to change the artwork." I'm like, "Holy shit." Like, you understand this is a freebie, right? We're giving this shit away for free, but he's gone out. Like, as far as I haven't even heard it because I can't get into it. He sent me something and then he wouldn't allow access to it. So I haven't even heard it. Trev's heard it. But I know it's good because he's a phenomenal player. But I don't know if I've got a finished product or if anyone's got it. So eventually maybe for the Asheron release. What's that? 2026. We might have Ghoulish Dave out.
Nice,
So
nice.
yeah, we'll see how that flies. But we have one more, which I think's an announcement tomorrow night. So Trev's
Cool.
going to do it. So it's a bit of a long time in the coming of. I think this guy deserves something, just because of he's playing, and he's kind of in a spot where he's hit a few snags along the way, and I think he deserves to be heard. So Trevor and I had a bit of a chat, and yeah, we're going to announce that tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Speak. So I got one more thing. As far as Fomorian, as far as Trevor, and I've talked to Trevor about this already. I already said I'm gonna have to probably end up doing some type of shame campaign. When do you think? Do you think that Trevor's ever gonna try to release anything? He's got a lot of stuff, and I know he could probably get some people either to do vocals or whatever, just to put something out. Do you have you been giving him some pressure on that as well?
Well, we did a song together, and I'm waiting for his piece he's got one more piece to come back. And to tell you the truth, he's fucking dragging ass on that one too. But he's got something coming out also, or he's got I don't know how much. I can't say the name, but I'm pretty sure he's probably told you he's got a collab coming with. Collab's such a horrible word, but you know what I mean. He's guesting. I don't know if it's his song or if it's the other guy's song, but he's playing on this other guy's stuff, or he's playing on his stuff, and I don't know what they're planning to do with it. But no one's heard it. But the song that I've got with him is well, you guys will get a kick out of it. I keep getting into these shitty drama things, so I don't understand. It's probably my fault, but I said, Trev, you got to get on this and play because it's going to lend weight, So he's decided that he's putting guitar into it too. So I'll be interested to see what he comes back with, because he's not like a black metal guy. Even when he plays, he's more of a. You've seen him play.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested.
He's like a thrasher.
Yeah. He's coming from a different world, so I'll be interested to see what he pulls out and it comes back with, because it's just such a cool song. It's kind of it's funny for us, very tongue in cheek, but it'll be cool when it comes out.
Yeah, because I did hear. I remember what he did. I forgot what song it was, and that he did, and that he had what's it? He had Ben from Metal Ben's Chronicles doing in some leads, and the young lady, I forgot her name, that does bass.
Yeah.
And I remember they put that out, and that thing was freaking awesome. I was like, man, we could have some vocals for this. You got a song. It just sounded great. So, that was my thing. I mean, Trevor, I always bust his balls on. Yo, man, we shamed everybody around, and so now we're waiting on you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've said to him before. Do you remember? You guys are in my age group. Back in was it the 80s? There was that record label called Shrapnel Records. Is that ringing a bell? And they, what was that saying?
Who was on the label?
It wasn't some. It was like everyone who could play guitar. It was you would have a Marty Friedman. There would be Jason Becker, and they would be together on the same album. And it was just basically shredding the whole time. I don't think there was any vocals on any of the songs.
You're gonna laugh. My son has, because he's a huge Marty Friedman fan.
Yep.
And he has what you're talking about. It's only instrumental stuff on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has a CD of that. It was pretty good.
Well, I said to him, like, I don't think there's too much of that going around. I understand why. It was kind of very what was it? It was generic. Like, it was real generic music and just an excuse for guitar players to go crazy. And I'm like, well, we have Ghoulish Dave, and he does know Ben.
Yeah.
That's an interesting get-together, right? Because one's really a death guy, and the other guy's a thrash guy, but both of them can fucking play. And I'm like, even if it's a small little thing that even if it's like 2 songs, like, it would be cool just to have something like that's a throwback to that Shrapnel Records.
Yeah, look at that. Why not? That's something that. Why not? And the fact that Trevor, Paul, a bunch of other guys that they go and they play. They put up those YouTube shorts, and people get in there and they enjoy it, why not? If you're a musician and you just love to hear the music, you have a fan base for that. You do,
Yeah.
and I don't see there'll be a problem with putting something out like that at all.
But as far as Trev doing something that's Trev's, I mean, I think we might have talked about this because we talk every fucking day, and I'm pretty sure he said something that I don't know if he wants to or if he can. I mean, he can obviously physically do it, but can he do the other stuff? I don't know if that's part of his life right now because he's got the kids that he's always running around. He's a busy dude. But at the moment, we're going to have to be probably happy with him just guesting on a few things. But, you know, look, I haven't even heard the Ben one. I did hear the bass player where he got some music and some girl overseas kind of put bass on it.
Yeah, but Ben, and again, that's another one. Ben is a very you hear Ben play, you're like, wow, he's a fucking awesome guitarist, man. He plays very well. Yeah,
and I think Ben's a little bit disadvantaged in the sense that I've told him for ages because I know he's been kind of down on himself because of viewership and stuff, and I said, dude, the problem is that you're in a very small market, and you're playing music that is even smaller than that market. You know what I mean? Like, he plays stuff that he only likes, and I mean, he plays some other stuff too, but ultimately there's only a small group of people that first off like that and then know about you. But I said, what you do have going for you is that you are the midnight king. He will start at 11, 12 o'clock at night and go all the way through till 7 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't give a shit. Yeah. And I'm like, people are still up. Like, I'll get up for work after going to bed. Like, I can't stay anymore, Ben. I have to go. And he's still going. Like, he's got endurance, if nothing else. So I said, you gotta own that time slot, mate. Because you're the only one on that is in that kind of that bubble of the Necrons and the Joabbas. And I mean, you still get the same people looking. But I said, when it's midnight and they're still up and they're having a few boozes, where are they going to go if they want to chat to people online and listen to metal? I said, you're pretty much it.
Yep.
So,
he is. Yeah. And I feel bad because sometimes I'll see him, I'll go and I'll comment, and it's real late, and he'll be like, Barry, you want to come on? And I'm like, I said, yeah, man. I said, I'm either too tired or I'm already about to hit the sack or something like that. I mean, it is what it is. But I wouldn't mind, if Ben, when Ben usually gets on an earlier time, I'll tell him I'll go and I'll hang out with him for a little while and stuff like that too,
Yeah. But I really enjoy Stowe. I think he's interesting as far as his metal knowledge is second to none. Like, his old school stuff.
Yeah.
They're pulling out dates, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I remember that. And like for him to just kind of snap it off the top of his head, you've really got to kind of be into it. You can't be a passing kind of tourist on that type of stuff to know what Ben knows.
Absolutely.
So he is a true metalhead. That is for sure.
I give it up to Ben, man. That's right. Give it up to Ben. All right, Tone. Let's get Tone to get a question in there before he suffocates to death.
I got a couple real quick ones here. I wanted to know, how hard was it to make this album compared to the other albums that you have made, knowing that you had gone through some personal issues?
Well, I mean, it was hard as far as like the issues that kind of just made it harder to write. But I mean, like, keep in mind, like, I would say half of this album was done in the lead up to this too. So the other part was kind of during the process. So no one had really died yet, I guess. So it was me going through the not being able to get home, knowing that my my mum was sick. Then really the frustration of dealing with the USCIS, the people who do all the immigration. They don't really care, and I don't say that callously. I think it's because I'm one person and they are swamped at the moment with everything that's politically going on. And here I am, just some guy just saying, listen, can I leave? Because I've got to get home, and I want to be able to know that I can come back and I'm not going to be stopped rather at the Australian airport or somewhere when I hit LA or Hawaii because they won't let me in because my green card has got a different date on it, and I've got a piece of paper that coincides with that to say I'm good, but it's just a piece of paper. And if I lose it, or if, I mean, what's the backup? And no one could give me an answer. It was like, no, you'll be good. Permanent residence isn't something that you lose. You always are, but you just might, your card will be not, your card will be expired, but we don't take away your permanent resident. I'm like, well, that's fun and dandy, but I can't, I mean, to my knowledge, and as much as I check, I can't get an American passport on a permanent residency.
That's true. Yeah.
So mine's going to say Australia. So is Australia going to know this? And when I get on over there, and Australia's got weird rules because if I'm an Australian and I'm coming to the States, I have to buy a return ticket to be able to board the plane.
Wow. So you're paying double. You're paying double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you're not coming back, if you have an Australian passport, I mean, I haven't tested this theory either, but that was the fear. It was like, well, what if I bought a plane and mine's a return ticket, but they won't let me on because of this silly rule. So, I mean, not silly if you're going through this or, the people running over borders and stuff, but silly in my defense because I actually live here. So, no one could give me a straight, definite answer that TSA or whoever's on the other side is going to let me back in or even let me board the plane. So it was going to be balls in the air, where do they fall type of thing. I wasn't willing to chance that. So, yeah, I mean, long answer short, I guess, or long answer long. Yeah, my mum passed away while I was dealing with this, which made me more frustrated. And then this thing had to change. Like, I didn't believe the record really represented what I was feeling anymore, because a lot of it was out of things that I no longer cared about because something had taken over. So, I took songs out and I wrote 2 more for it, which ended up being, really cool. Not necessarily down the line black metal per se, but were very easy to write but hard to perform. You know what I mean? Because the words just kind of came out because everything was on the forefront, but really kind of difficult to sing because I would have to read them, and if I messed it up, I'd go back and there was lines there where I was just like, it would just be tears streaming down my face, especially when the cat passed away, and that was something that compounded everything. It wasn't like, oh, he's upset over his pet. It was like that just compounded all the bad luck, and all the horrible things. Yeah, it was like the final straw that just took me out. So, but Shred's defense, Shred really held it together because he took on everything when, the wife and I just didn't want to deal with some stuff. So we took our time. So he just took the reins and let us have our time. He said, look, pull the release, do what you got to do. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. We'll do something else. So to his benefit, he really stepped up, and, I consider him like a really good friend. So good on you, Shred.
All right. Trevor is a great dude, man. He really is. And
yeah.
And again, my condolences. We're all,
yes,
we're here for you. If anything, brother, we always have. If anything, if you ever have a time that you just feel like giving us a call, we're here for you always.
Yeah. I mean, I thank you for that, and also thank you for even reaching out to my wife, because she really took everything hard, and it was nothing she'd get a text from Tone or Rich, and you would text me, and it would be.
All right, we're back. If Lee remembers when we stepped up, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so the culmination of all the shitty stuff, we had to kind of just stop doing what we were doing just to kind of get back to it. And Shred really kind of took the reins and gave us our time. And so hats off to Shred. He's an awesome guy. I consider him, a really good friend. And even with you guys, like checking on the wife, like Tone and Rich checking on the wife, and Barry, you texting me, like those little interactions kind of just pull you through. It just kind of snaps you out of it for a while, and it's like that's cool. So you kind of get a little bit of. So I mean, that's a lesson for everyone out there. If you see someone going through some shit, just reach out. Are you okay? There's your lesson. So that type of stuff's much appreciated. So thank you, thank all 3 of you.
That's no problem, man. We're here for you.
That's what that's what being a friend is, man. And that brotherhood. It's like we see you. You're in a place that you need some help. That's what we come and we help and try to do the best we can to lift you up, man. That's the point. Never leave you on the ground, man. That we're supposed to lift you up.
Yeah, when there's one of us too that might fall down, need our friends to come pick us up too.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are. I kind of envy you because you've always had. I mean, I say always. I really don't know your history, but as far as I've been told, you guys have had each other for a long time. You know, and I can't think of a friend that I've had that it was in Australia that I had for more than a few years, and they were work friends. And I don't talk to them anymore because it's like, well, out of sight, out of mind. So I don't think any of them know that anything's happened. So it's I kind of envy that camaraderie that you guys do have. It'd be cool to have it. So I'm glad that I found something with you and Shred and you the New Yorkers and Shred over in the West Coast. So.
Yeah, I mean it's I mean I'm sure like with some of the your countrymates like Maddox, Matt, he it's good to see that with the Australian side of things, you guys are starting to have yourselves a good little thing there. But it's good. It's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a great thing. You lift everybody from wherever you're at, you lift each other up. So now you're good, Lee, because you got it in both places. Not only you got the Australian brothers, you got your brothers here in the United States. I mean, not too many people could say that.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it wasn't something that I was going to come out and say. It was that what got this snowballing was my wife and Nakron talk, and they had been talking about the cat, and Nakron's had pets, and he's a pet lover, right? And he was like, "You got to do something. You got to do something." No, and she said to me, he said maybe like a GoFundMe, and I'm like, I can't do a GoFundMe. Like it's against everything that I want to do, and I mean I know he probably being facetious and just wanting to help, and it was like, if you don't do it, I'm gonna fucking do it. So I was like, well, look, I got this CD coming out. Let's say, look, if you buy the CD, any proceeds from the CD go, but I just don't want money for free. And I mean, did any of you listen? No, but we thank you anyway, because I mean, what that did was pick this up. Because I mean, yourself, if something comes up and it's huge and everything goes to shit, what are you going to pay the bills with? What are you going to eat with? And I mean, everyone in that circle, you guys included, like stepped up and just floored us. Like we were like trying to figure out what to sell next. So you guys really came to the party in a big fucking way. So thank you. I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, man. You're most.
That's what we're supposed to do in the metal community. We're supposed to support each other in the underground, and when we form bonds and relationships, we in those moments we pick each other up, keep going forward, and just keep going.
Yeah.
So those are just feels like clouds that pass by.
Yeah, and I mean, look, everything does get better and everything passes. But I mean, that seems like is that like an NYC hardcore ethic, right? Like it always felt like that was really like a hardcore type of movement where it was like all for one for all. I don't know if that's true because there probably was people in there that were horrible people, but it seemed to be from that movement where people were all, for each other, supporting each other. Or is it just like an old school thing?
Yeah, every time that something happens out here where one of the old school hardcore guys needs like an operation or there's like they're going through hard times, they put a lot of benefit shows in the park or they make like special t-shirts to raise money, and people who are going to buy physical media or something will always grab it because they know it's for a good cause. But, they're supporting what they like. So that we're still supporting the scene, but at the same time, helping our fellow brothers and sisters.
Yeah. And I think obviously that same mindset is like they work, like they get by on their own wits, they do what they got to do to live. And when suddenly you can't support yourself or you can't do something, it's very humbling to have to ask for help. It's not something that you want to do, So I think I kind of feel that like that's how they must feel as well when shit hits the fan.
Cool, man. So Lee, man, I wanna bring it back on track and talk about the new album. I heard a couple of cuts. It's pretty good, and I noticed that you got a couple of samples in there Your production is really raw and good. But I want to mention something that hasn't been brought up too much, and that's the lady that's beside you, Miss A. She makes an appearance on the album. How did that come about? And are there gonna maybe any future plans for any more tracks together?
Yeah, because she's fucking good at what she does. You know, she's an actual musician. You know, where I've done enough to kind of learn how to do some things, but yeah, she's an actually it's not the word. I can't even talk the right way, but she's actually like a trained pianist. She teaches piano, she teaches guitar, she teaches vocal, so she's got a musical theory knowledge. You know, so when I needed something, I was like, I can't get it because I can tinker around. I've got like 4 keyboards here that are in different states of, you know, working. And I can find the note after a few things and make a few sounds. But she just came in and was like, listen, this is what it needs. It needs a grandiose thing. So she went to town on it and got a great result. It just really brought that kind of dark feeling out in the song because I've obviously heard it without it, and when she started in on it, I was like, this is fucking cool, you know. Nice. So it was a different feeling again for stuff that I'd normally done, but I just couldn't keep that off because, and it wasn't that I'm married to her. I could have said no, I'm not going to put it on, but it just sounded cool, you know.
Yeah, so and then with the samples, like. Did you have those samples in your mind once you heard them, and that how you chop them up and put them into the songs, or did you like hear the samples and say this has to go with this particular track? You know?
No, what I do is that the samples to me necessarily aren't related to the song that they're bumping up to. So I just like putting, I guess now you call them Easter eggs, but it's like there's some things where I just feel like I need something that can say this, even if it's kind of real, like cryptic. Like the first sample, like I said on the Necron thing, it's like I think that's funny because it's like, you know, who would think crime wouldn't pay? Like that is the black metal scene, and pretty much now most of pop culture, right? You got to have some notoriety to get anywhere, and you'll get your 15 minutes of fame. And I thought there was such a cool line, and it was from the movie Chopper, Eric Bana, and it's done in such a broad Australian accent, you know, that real big Australian accent that just sounded it sounds threatening to me when he said it. If you know the film, everything he says is done in this very jovial way just before he's about to shoot you. And it just, to me, feels like that. I know the threatening piece, but so I really like that is a juxtaposition of what he's saying and how true it is and what's about to happen. So, you know, I really love that sample. And the other one's the Evil Dead one, which I've always loved. That part in the movie where she's sitting there playing that game, and you guys know it. Yeah. That other one, the girl on the side of the room is calling out all the cards, and her voice changes, and she turns around. That's a phenomenal fucking part of that movie, and it works because when she screams, I was like, there's like the best scream, you know, in a film. It would suit this. So I'm just like, the song was very, you know, just my kind of break away from the emotional crap, and that just fits. I was like, fuck yeah, that's really cool. But I love my Mad Max samples and all that stuff. And then the other ulterior was the Lord Humongous thing, which I keep thinking, you got no right to use that. You got no right to use any of our stuff. So I figured I'd put it in mine and just like try to overplay it. So when they hear theirs, it'd be like, oh, more Mad Max, great.
Awesome. And my other quick question is because you said screams and it hit me. When you sing on this, man, you are just screeching and like, and I wanted to know, like, does that take a toll on your voice? Like, you know, I mean, on your throat? Like, are you in pain afterwards physically? Yes. Because the it's just like you feel it. It's so raw and screeching that it's indescribable, man. I like. How do you feel the like? Do you psych yourself up when you get into the vocal booth, and then like you're probably like drained afterwards, all right?
Yeah, because I record in certain parts of the day, right? So at 4:30 in the morning, you can hear me screaming. I'm sure upstairs must hear me, but um, you know, someone said once, "Oh, you'll know you're doing it right when you taste blood in the back," and then eventually what that does is tighten everything up or callus it over, and then you'll be able to do it. That shit hasn't happened yet, and I still like I can still taste that horrible coppery feeling. So I know I must be doing some damage, but I've tried to do it other ways. I can't. I keep resorting back to the same thing. But yeah, like I said, this last album easier to do because I was upset at everything.
Yeah.
Um, but some stuff where you're looking at the words and you're going, "Fuck, that just rhymes," so just do it. And it's like it's not the same. You can hear it in the vocals, and I've taken a lot of that out. Just have to rewrite it because you can. It's like this doesn't sound right, or it sounds like I'm whispering it, or it's shitty. So yes, it hurts. Yes, it takes away everything that you can't talk for a bit, and it doesn't get easier. So I'm doing it wrong. I know everyone in the comments who does it. I'm no Glenn Benton. That's for sure.
Yeah, because when you do it, man, it sounds and it feels like it. Like,
yeah,
you know,
and I want it I want it to sound like that Evil Dead voice. Like I really love that voice. You know, I love the first Deicide album. I love how there was that 3-layered voice on that. You know, and that's what I want to achieve. So I try to get all of them in there.
Nice. I can understand that. I mean, when I first took over as the vocalist, it was rough because I mean I was playing bass. I decided to take over as the vocals, and then when you go and you're doing it more and more, you don't develop that technique, so you're straining your vocal cords. And I would do a show, and halfway through the show, my voice was already going because I wasn't really trained into. So eventually, over the years, I started doing more of the it's more of the death metal style where it's like it has to come from your diaphragm, from the bottom. So eventually, I started getting that technique a little bit more and more, where then my vocals start. But what I used to do was I remember I had a little trick in the beginning where it could exceed, and maybe you could use it too. Considering so you don't taste blood. I used to drink before the show. It was recommended to me by a couple of singers. They said drink something with milk. The texture when it coats your throat, it actually helps you. It doesn't, and then so you're basically when you're singing, it'll I guess it gives you like that protection layer on your vocal cords. So it might give you a little extra protection before it starts to get damaged. So I said, okay. So I did that for a little while, and it helped me out. Instead of halfway through the set, I went 3/4 to the set, and then until I started developing this style. So chocolate milk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have heard the milk thing, and then the wife who teaches vocals goes, try warm water because as long as it's not cold, you can't have anything cold, you can't have anything hot. It needs to be a warm substance. So she goes, milk might be something that'll make you sound a little phlegmy. So she goes, try water. Quite frankly, I've tried both and I get the same result. But it's like, when the inspiration hits you, and I got a question for you too, Barry, because I just thought of it while you were talking about that you went back into it. But like, when you've got that thing, you're like, fuck, I know exactly what I want to do. And I mean, you guys may not because I record at home, but I'm like, I got a line. I run downstairs. There's no warming up. There's no fucking power drinks. There's no anything. It's just grab mic, hit record, off you go. And so you're going cold. And sometimes it sucks, but sometimes it comes out with a little bit more desperation, I think it is.
Yeah.
And you get something cool. But also, too, I'll do a line stop, make sure it sounds good. Then I'll do the next line or I'll do the verse stop. So I've got some time between to recover. But the question I got for you, because you would play and then stop for a while and then come back. So I know in your head, you can do it because in your head, you're always 21, right?
Yeah.
But when you got up there and you probably went through all the processes of getting yourself together, how long were you surprised at how, like, did it last for you, or you got to a point you went, oh, fuck, I'm in trouble?
No, the surprise part, I was. I remember when we first started hitting the studio again after years. and started doing the rehearsals, I think maybe it took me maybe going through maybe when we were doing our set, maybe 2 songs in, and then when it got to like the third or fourth song, it started to pick up back to the way it's like riding a bike, I guess. You just it's the same thing. Once you start getting back into it, it starts to come back to the way you remember it. And then once you already have that feel, then you're ready. Okay, this is where it's at, and then you just stay going. So it did surprise me. Don't get me wrong, it did. I remember I telling you that, I don't know if I'm going to sound the same. I've heard. I mean, you've heard bands that were out for so long and they had a certain style in their vocals, and all of a sudden they had to like really change their way because it's just not going to sound the exact same way it did 20 years ago. And I was pleasantly surprised that I actually still had a nice sound to it. So I stuck with it, and that's fine with me. I was worried. I was worried. I really was worried.
You would have gone out there with a ton of like adrenaline, right? Because you're going, well, I'm gonna pace myself. I'm gonna make sure that all the things are hit. But it doesn't take much for that to be thrown off, right? If the crowd is nuts, suddenly you forget, everything goes out the window.
I think once it starts and it's flowing, it all shoots right back. And
right.
And like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. I really thought. I kept thinking about some of these bands that came back and they didn't sound the same. And I was saying, I was worried. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna sound like shit. I really did. I thought I was gonna sound like shit, and it was people gonna be like, oh, what the fuck is this? And it came out pretty good, so I was happy with it.
Cool. Well, I mean, I got to come see a new show, right?
I can't wait. I'm like we're gonna go. Well, we got a show actually coming up. I don't know. Maybe you might be able to drop by. It's in Butler, New Jersey.
Okay.
July 18th. We're still trying to get the lineup. It's I'll say here because it's already out. I know it's out on the Go to Mentis IG. July 18th in Butler. So I think they're just trying to confirm slots and times and stuff like that. So
because
I'm not sure how far Butler is from you, but can make it.
Well, we went to see Revic. I mean, we can drive to. I think that's almost up where you guys are, right? I mean, where he was playing, it's not that far.
But Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, Butler, New Jersey, it's going to be about an hour ride, like 45 minutes, an hour ride from where I live at. So maybe it'd probably be about an hour, some change for you. Drive, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Driving to something's not the issue. It's flying and then motels and then flying home. That's where shit becomes a little bit tricky, as Rich and Tone can tell you. You get stuck.
For real.
Stuck in a blizzard.
Also, August 3rd, they got that other show, which is going to be at the Bowery Electric, which is going to be locally our friends, Crazy Eddie from New York. This their final show. And Go to Mentis is on the undercard with Brass Knuckle Brigade, which is Martin and Gary, another good friend of our scene, and a couple of other bands from the Bronx.
Yeah,
if you're gonna go to a hardcore show, you need to go to a fucking New York show, right?
Yeah. And it's free. It's free in all ages. So you'll have, I'm trying to like see if my grandkids are gonna be able to make it in. I mean,
that's sweet.
It's all ages. So I want them there. I really do.
Yeah. Well, me and Tony and Rich might have to try and figure something out so we can get up there and spend the day and then come out. Yeah.
Figure it out. You drive. You get to the thing. I'll pick you up.
Hey.
Go.
All right. So let me ask you this.
Good.
Considering the first phase of your music to where you're at right now, what has been the biggest surprise to you? The reaction from people as far as your music goes? Because I mean, as far as black metal goes, I mean, there's always been the skeptics on black metal. I've said it with no shame that I'm a late bloomer to black. I've just engulfed black metal. I love black metal now. Mm-hmm. Has it been something where people who were not interested in black metal are taking your music into stride and appreciating black metal? Or what's been your take on
that? Again, I look, I guess the wife, but I think she has to contractively. She has to say she likes it. I don't know, because I know that I'm not like black. Like if someone says it's a black metal band, you've got something in your head, and if you've heard a bit of it, you kind of go, well, it's probably that lo-fi, kind of sounds like it was recorded in a bedroom with tin cans. You kind of get that, especially if you say one man, because if you're anywhere in this scene, that stuff normally sounds in a range from really kind of interesting to really fucking bad. So I don't think I fit in that box. Like I've got a little bit more, I guess, production value. You can hear things. I'm not so drowned out in the back that you can only just hear music. So it's not even the trendy type. It's I heard someone say that it's like if you were just getting into it, then this might be a good start. And I'm like, all right, I can accept that. Like I just like the melody part. So I'm kind of hoping that if anyone does get into it that's normally not into it, it'll because, they kind of come from that same background of they like hooks and choruses, and maybe the aesthetic drives them away. So I don't do the face masks and the corpse paint and the big spikes and stuff, because it's just not what I wear. I don't feel comfortable with that. I love seeing it, but it's not what I do. So I think maybe I think I haven't heard anyone directly say I didn't like it until I heard you. That would be fantastic, but I haven't heard anyone say that.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I do think that there's got to be people that don't like the majority of it, but have maybe heard something that I've done, kind of like it because it's not like that. So I take a little bit of pride in it, and I think going forward, I think that's probably a direction. I'm very comfortable in the spot of having something that's kind of got a bit of brutality, that's got clarity, and then having something where you might walk away and remember like a chorus or something. I do like that. But that's what I grew up on. Hiss, choruses, rock and roll all night, party every day. That was my shit.
And I'll say it to that retrospect that what you were saying about somebody will give that, and I would say it as a recommendation. If anybody comes to me, hey, you got a black man, I'm thinking about getting a black, I would definitely hand them a Warhammer 666 CD to say, hey, this is something you could go and check out. And because I think everything that you put into your stuff, and I agree 110% what you're saying about the quality, and I get it, and maybe that's the reason why maybe some people tend to throw black metal to the side because of the way it sounds, how it's recorded, and they give it that not music not worth listening to, but it has its elements. Sometimes it has its elements. But with the way you have your production value and the way you do your stuff, everything folds together where it gives you everything that black metal is supposed to deliver. And that's something I truly appreciate, man.
Yeah. I mean, look, I hate the word. Anytime someone says elite, I want to throw up.
No.
Right? Because I mean, we're not elite. We're human beings. We wipe our ass with the same hand or the other hand. We put our finger through the paper. Like, we're not elite. We're all the fucking same. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm something that's like above someone because of my musical genre. And half of these people, I mean, it's a cosplay. It's not real. Like, you can look at them and then you see interviews and they're all happy, smiley, go lucky. And I mean, that's great. It's a performance. It's supposed to be entertainment, but it's like it is turned into a little bit of a meme.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, everybody's still trying to put black metal on that level of like I guess now whoever saw the Lords of Chaos stuff, trying to still keep it in that thing. And to me, it's like, come on, look, if you enjoy it, and it's good music, and it's black metal. Look, I understand the how maybe some people want to keep it to a certain level of they don't want things. To me, those are those elitists. Those are the people who want to keep it at it sounding like if it was recorded in the bedroom with a tin can. They want to keep it to that. And look, sometimes people branch out and make things better. That's why I said it, and I'm not just saying it because we're good friends, Lee. I said it. If somebody comes to me, yo, can you introduce me to a good black metal band? Boom, Warhammer 666, most definitely, top notch. Because I thanks to Tone, I think Tone's been schooling me on a lot of good black metal, and I just been engulfing anything that I see with good black metal. I just pick it up and I'm enjoying it. So I get all sides of black metal everywhere. So even from the very good production to the some of the tin can productions as well.
Yeah, but I love the tin can stuff. Like that doesn't make sense, right? Because if you're going to hand me a black metal thing, I want to know that it's like dingy.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's where the diamond is, right? It's like, what did he have to do or she had to do to make this sound like that? And then what's going on in between it? Where if you put all the production value into it, and I understand why people only like that particularly, because it is a very true version of music. It's like it's not produced and it's what it is what it is. But once you put all the trickery into it, you can make anything sound like $1 million if you've got the know-how.
Yeah.
Right. So getting that is more like, yeah, like I understand the limitations and what they had to try and produce or not produce to give me that. And that's very interesting to me. You know, and the Cradle of Filth, though I do like it in certain different, I understand that it's going to sound phenomenal. There's not going to be one drum beat out of place, not one bit of feedback, not one wrong note. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's good when you're in the mood, but sometimes it's a little stale. It's not stale. What's the word it's very sterile in a sense.
But you prefer the older stuff of Cradle of Filth or how you feel about all their albums around? I prefer the first 4. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I went all the way up to Midian, I think, as far as buying them. And then after that, I found all the, but I mean, like, it wasn't like I heard them and went, oh, they're crap. I fell off because, like, everything started to look exactly the same, or maybe some other band that I really enjoyed came out that took that to a new level, and I lost interest because, oh, look, these guys are doing it way better, like, they're just better at it, for whatever the reason is. But I did hear some stuff where it was that Temptation song. Did you ever hear that?
It was a great song. Is that the new one?
No, it was probably about 10 years ago, where it's got Danny Filth in it, and then it's got some girl in it, and she's got an apple. And it's a phenomenal song for a song, but it's not Cradle of Filth that I remember Cradle of Filth being.
It was a green covered album, right?
It could have been. I never got the album.
I know what you're talking about. I saw a video. Yeah. That's not for me.
It's not, right? It's very overproduced and very flamboyant. But as far as the song goes, I understand that it's trying to be very, gothic. And I'm not really a gothic metal fan, but that's where I thought they went, which I was like, yeah, I've lost interest in it.
That's where they're getting the money from. That was the problem.
Exactly.
I mean, it's funny because the new stuff I heard, I saw the 2 new videos there. They're pretty good. I think they went back to their roots a little bit with musically being a little bit more. Look at Rich. I thought it was good. I thought musically it was good. I thought it was
the one before it was good. The Futile one, whatever that was called.
Yeah.
I heard that and I was like, this isn't bad, But again, you're not going to get anything that's going to change the world. Not that I do anything, or most people do, but it's going to be really well played, really well produced. There's not going to be any change to the production. They're not trying anything new. I was like, oh, whatever. Cradle of Filth.
Demo Borgia.
I love them. Fucking love them.
They were hitting home runs, and then the money came in, and he went. That's true. I did see, but like, they are songwriters. Like, I don't know what's going on in that band as far as someone in that band's classically trained in something, because there's no way. What's his name? Glazier is their guitarist. The guy. He's well. I read that he what you call has a background in college of all. Yeah.
They have to. And that time that video where they were playing with that orchestra, like, how hard must that be to be able to do a black metal set with blast beats and some people over here playing the violins and the harps and all that shit. Like, you've got to be pretty fucking spot on to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, that was for I think it was Prodigies of the Great Apocalypse, right? I think I saw that.
I think so. I mean, like I said, I didn't buy it, but I just thought it was phenomenal.
I remember they did it live, and I was like, ooh, because I like that song. I thought it was a great fucking song. And then to see it actually played with an orchestra, I thought it was like, wow.
Yeah, but I never bought an album after the Misanthropic. Like, that was where, and I only got that because Nick Barker was playing on it. He was the drummer in that.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking great drummer. So
Yeah.
Lee, I was gonna ask you, you know, like we for those that are just watching this, Tone and Barry did an interview with Lee, which covers a lot of his earlier part of his career. But like in this state right now in 2025, what black metal bands are you listening to that you draw inspiration from, or at least hit you like in the heart that you really feel like, you know, that are representing the scene in 2025?
I wouldn't say it's representing the scene.
Uh-huh.
I really like the last two Satanic War Masters.
Yeah.
Even the newer one when you went back to the more rawer sound. Like that was cool to hear it, but he kept all the melody, and you know, the one before it, which I can never say, starts with the letter A.
The one with
big
the
wolf
letter
on the-
A.
Yeah,
with that
the one with the
wolf on the
wolf on the cover. They're really cool.
Yep, yep. That one's
Like-
real good. Yep.
Yeah, there's a song on that which is is it the Triumphator or it's one of the longest songs. Like
Yeah.
there's a song that brings a tear to my eye every time I hear it. To me, it feels like you're gonna die, you're gonna make your last stand, you're gonna go into battle, die heroic. And that's how that I listen to that when I'm walking to work. So I've got some type of
I think it's
like
called
something.
Darkness Triumphant.
There
right?
we go. Yeah, that
Yeah,
song
yeah,
is
yeah.
unfucking real. I love the way I love the little keyboardy parts in it that really just elevates that. So I really like him. And then when I go on that trip, I start going into bands that I hear that are kind of similar. So there's a guy called Infamous. If you've heard him,
What's it called?
no? Infamous.
Infamous?
Yeah, that's the name of the band. I think it's only one guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
okay,
from
yeah.
Finland, right?
I thought it was Italy, but I could be wrong.
Infamous.
Yeah, but he does a similar thing, but in a lo-fi version of it. But all of his melodies are really catchy, but they're under this horrible dark noise. It's interesting because I was on the plane when I was coming to Texas and I was listening to that because I put it on my phone and I was like, man, this is so cool. Like just the soundscapes that the guy can do, and it's not music you would go to and you'd be able to race around and mosh. It's just something you got to sit there in the dark and just like, oh my god, I'm feeling all of it. But there is a new band called Lurid, which is really good too.
Oh, can you repeat that one more time? What's the band?
Lurid, Lurid. It's a weird name for a band of that caliber, but they're like a raw black metal band, but they really have that early Satanic War Master feel to them.
Nice.
Very cool.
Do you like any DSBM bands? Like, you know,
I like Shining. For reasons, not everything, but the singer, I always thought when I first saw that interview, in that you can watch it on YouTube, where he wants all of his audience to die and all that.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I saw, and I think they've taken it off YouTube now, I believe, because of all their, you know.
They were saying that he was promoting suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the big thing.
Yeah, I thought he was kind of cool, and then the more I heard him talk, the less I found him as interesting. I thought he was a little bit just trying to say things. But there was an interview recently that he talked about that he ate human flesh with someone. I'm like, this guy just says anything, you know.
Those albums, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was kind of recent. It was with a lady that was interviewing him, and he was talking about it. And he must live in a cave because, you know, he dropped the N word.
Yeah.
And the lady goes, "Oh, we can't say that." He goes, "We can't." And I was like, "Wow, this guy's just nuts, man." So I kind of like some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Because some of the black metal now is kind of a little bit afraid, because in this state that we're living in, where YouTube could knock down your stuff or you could get canceled, you know, a lot of people forget that that's what black metal, that was a major part of black metal, the not giving a fuck, you know, the rawness of putting shit out, you know. And
yeah, well, you said DSBM, not NSBM, right? You said D with a D.
With a D, yeah.
But
D for dog, yeah.
Any NSBM?
Yeah, there's some cool shit, man. Like, I mean, you can look at the politics all day long. I can't understand what they're saying. I just know it
Yeah.
because there's a few things on the cover of it. But what was that? The elitism is really good. Um, Anything that Matt shows me is normally pretty good. There was a recent band that I picked up the tape. I think they're from here. I'd have to go find it, but it's like 2 songs and it's like very Goat Moon. And I mean, if you want to put Goat Moon in there, by all means,
Yeah.
I don't think
But this is the
know.
thing, Lee, that I've been noticing in the last couple of years, that there are bands that are NSBM, right? But then there are other bands that are not really NSBM, but they're getting categorized
Yeah.
because they either play together or they have a member, or maybe one person in the group feels a certain way and it affects the other. And it's like there are bands now that they call them NSBM, but they're not really NSBM.
Yeah. Yeah. They just had a guy that was once in the band, all right? And then they went and did an NSBM and now they're NSBM or they're Nazis, whatever they want to be called. But it's so dumb. Like, I don't see any, like, if I didn't like a specific race, I would run, like, just say you didn't like, I don't know, let's say you didn't like white people. I would like to know that you didn't like white people just in case, like, I'm going to go hang out with you and a bunch of your friends. Chances are a bunch of your friends probably have the same type of thing, and I may not be safe within that type of. I want to know, like, so I don't care if someone says it. It doesn't worry me. I mean, it's just not something that I spend much time having to deal with. Again, I'm not a marginalized race. I get that too, but I mean, look, I've never seen anyone in the street be beaten because of a race. Okay. Granted, I haven't seen all the states and wherever, but like I've never gone somewhere and felt that I'm out of place or I've been uncomfortable, but I've never felt like my life's in danger because I'm white. And I don't know about a black person. I can't speak for them, but again, normally the people that get out there and scream it from the hilltops are normally the ones that aren't, that like to do it for the shock value or whatever. And and the funny thing is, I don't know if I've told this story, like there was a guy, he gets around on the Joe chats. Well, he was grandfathered into the KKK, all right? And he's a super funny dude. I can't help it. I like him. Right. And it's really hard for me to say I like this guy, and he wants to come hang out, and he goes, dude, I got this massive big swastika tattooed on my chest. Are you cool with that? I went, whatever, man. What am I going to do at this point? So it's like, yeah, I may not want to be tied into it or be associated with it, but he's funny. I can't help him. He's funny. And he says some dumb shit sometimes, but there's another story which, oh man, I want to tell you off the air, which you'll get a kick out of. But man, like, how can I abbreviate? So, do you know how you got your and it's not because of me. It's just they know a guy who, you guys might be able to put 2 and 2 together. But do you know how you've got your Varg who did a real heinous act and he killed his friend?
Yeah.
Right. Well, there's other people in the scene that have done some real heinous stuff, but for racial things. Now, I don't know him. Never met him. Obviously, I know of him because he's in some great bands. And he must have heard one of the bands that I maybe lent some drums to, all right? And or one of his friends did. And we get a phone call and it's like, listen, this guy's part of this. Are you willing to do some music? And I'm kind of like, man, that's cool, because the label that the guy owns is like a real predominant black metal label. And it's kind of like having, I don't know, Warner's ring you up and say, hey, you want to do a major label for this type of thing? And I was like, man, that's really cool. But the problem is that one, for me to do something like that, well, I can't put my name on it, right? And it's not something I can go around and say that, yeah, I'm a part of. So it's like, it's fucked. And then if anyone ever found out that was there, and it's like, wait, I only did it because I really want to be on this thing. I didn't want to do it because of I'm not singing. I'm not writing words here. I'm just playing some drums. But, I mean, how do you kind of explain that away? But, Yeah, I'll tell you the names when this gets off. But yeah, dude, it was cool because he was like gonna pass this over, and they were gonna release it, or they had some things, and I was like, man, that's such a hard thing to turn down. But nothing's ever come of it, of course, like most things. But it was cool to get the phone call.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna just say one thing, and I'll get off the topic. Is that right? Like if people want to get into like religion, right? Let them do their thing. If people want to get hardcore into politics, let them do their thing. But if you're enjoying music, right, which is music, whether you agree with it or not, but you enjoy that music, then don't bother those people or those labels or those fans that support that. They're not hurting you. You know, what are you doing picketing at a show or trying to take down somebody's YouTube? You know, like if you don't like it, move on.
Yeah. Well, again, I've heard people talk about it, and it's basically it's easy to get like 4 guys taken off something, right? And it's like then they get to wave the flag and say, look what we did in the name of social justice. Because I mean, which business, like if you had a business, Rich, that was, predominant out there, and then suddenly you share a beer with someone who's like someone horrendous, and I've got a photo of it. Well, the first thing you're thinking about is, oh fuck, my livelihood. It's not. Yeah. It's not because you may really like the guy and maybe you didn't know who he was, but that doesn't matter. I've got a photo of you sharing a beer with a horrible human being.
Yeah.
And if they say you denounce this man or you do something, against your nature, otherwise this goes out on the internet, and what are you going to do? I mean, there's a gun to your head. You're basically going to say, fuck, I'm not going to burn down a bridge for something I didn't know was happening, or if I did, it's not like I'm involved in it.
Yeah.
And then you bow to it. And I think it's easy to go after small clubs and venues, right? Because they don't want to lose money. And the big ones, they get more attention. There's a lot more people looking at them. So, but to get the bands that pull off them, to me, I feel that's maybe it's the same thing as you owning a thing and that's their livelihood. But to me, I feel that's weak. If a band that's got nothing to do with that isn't even part of that says, well, I'm not going to play because there's a band playing not on my day on a different stage, I'm not going to be a part of it. To me, I think that's the weakest fucking shit you can do.
Yeah, you know what? And if you can't handle it and you're soft and it hurts your feelings, then maybe this is probably not the scene of the music for you. You move on to something else.
Yeah. And
on that note, I'm just going to grab a beer. I'll be back in a second. You guys keep going.
As you're doing that, there's that Imperial Triumphant that just came out. He was listening to Goat Moon, and he had no idea that they were NSBM or was associated with, and he had to get told by people that they were associated with NSBM artists for him to like go out there and apologize. I'm like, so he didn't even know, which brings me to that point. Like a lot of people have zero idea what's going on. They just, it's like, oh shit, I didn't know that until you told me. Now I don't like it because of something. It's like you're a shithead. You liked it before.
But you want to know something now because of Goat Moon's popularity. They the flag of that bands now from their country are being targeted. They go to the store, and they have nothing to do with Goat Moon or any, but because they're from Finland, they're already associated that they're NSB bands.
Yeah,
and they're canceling because that happened over here in New York. We were going to go see a band, and because they were from Finland, people felt that, oh no, this must be an NSB band without knowing at all what the hell the band's about.
Yeah. I bought tickets to go see a band that was supposed to perform at a smaller club in New York, and a hip hop artist that had nothing to do with the show was performing at that venue, but that artist read certain things about that band and categorized that band in the NSBM thing. And when the club got wind of it, all of a sudden my phone said, oh, you're getting a refund. The show has been canceled. It's like, they don't want that static. So it's like, come on, man. It's ridiculous.
Why wouldn't you just go, oh, really? Let me go and have a look. Like a 2-second Google search would probably give you all the answers you'd need to know if you really want to find out. But no one's prepared to do it. Yeah, or it won't matter because the people who are accusing them don't care if it's true or if it's not true. The damage still happens, and then you have to deal with the aftermath because they get to walk away and go home and go to the next club
Yeah.
and do that without any recourse if they're wrong.
And the funny thing about it too is that it backfires on them sometimes, because sometimes some NSBM bands that might not necessarily be that good become more popular because younger people are like, I want to seek it out. I want to see what the controversy is. And then certain bands get put in the spotlight and they don't go away. So it backfires on them.
And it's crazy that that's like that. It only lends power to it. Once you really make it dangerous, even if it's perceived danger, you've just given them the biggest shot in the arm.
Yeah,
they can ask for.
But look at Goat Moon. Now they're as big as a regular black metal band is.
Yeah. And I mean,
this right here, that's
what you get.
They need, man.
That's what they need. They need a gun. Man, it's
move
crazy.
on, man. Let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, speaking in general with that, as far as the state, of certain bands and genres, what is the state of Australian metal in your eyes? Considering Tony mentioned Finland. What is your feel about the state of Australian metal, no matter the genre? What do you think has been going on? How do you feel like your country's getting their due when it comes to extreme music?
I like the fact that I guess people kind of consider Australian black metal kind of a more pure, real type of thing. As far as when I was there, it was a lot of horrible, shitty. Like I think it was Parkway Drive. I Killed the Prom Queen. All the big neck tattoo guys.
Mm-hmm.
That. To me, I'm like, it's whatever it is. It's just not the stuff that I listen to. A lot of young kids probably like it. But I get a lot of what's going on back there now through Matt, and the only thing he's really listening to back there is like all the black stuff. So I only hear about that. So I really don't know what's going on. I haven't even heard of any Australian bands that have clicked over here that has kind of popped up on an American channel. That or an international channel that I've gone, oh wow, they're an Australian band. I never heard of them. So maybe it's just as isolated as it's ever been, and it's like it never gets off the shores, which is a shame. Some bands get to make it past that. Drowning the Light's a good one. They get to kind of play their own rules now, and they can sell out albums like you'd not believe. But I don't hear anything. Funny, right? I don't go looking for it, and I don't hear from it. So only that Matt sends something or says something on his channel, and I go, "Oh wow, look at that! I'll go check him out."
Yeah, I mean it's been good. I mean I've noticed there are some. I mean, as far as besides black metal, there are some really good death metal bands, like just pure death metal, that came out of Australia that recently that I've been listening to, and some of the doom metals, like even some like the doomy stuff. And Rich knows I've been like really hardcore and listening to a lot of doom stuff, whether it be doom, death, metal, whatever. It's just I've just been intrigued with the doomy stuff now. And I think a lot of them have been coming out of Australia, the last few bands I've been listening to. So man, Australia, I think that I mean, as far as the rest of the stuff, the scope of it is doing pretty well on that front.
Yeah, there used to be a band called Tumbleweed back in the States. They were huge in Australia, massive, and they were like Sabbath doom though, not the real slow, dreadful, doom that you get now. But yeah, they were like, they used to wear corduroy pants. They basically look like what Sabbath looked like in the 70s. The big pendants, the open shirts. Man, they were cool. They were cool to go watch. But obviously they're gone by the wayside now. But there's a lot of stuff that's just whatever. I don't even hear a ton of bands over here that are kicking it, like that are doing really well. I only get the ones that Necron says are good because I see him on his channel. Joe Abba might play something. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I'll go check that out. But I don't go looking for it as much anymore. I think that's a young man's game in a sense. But if something comes across my vision, I'm like, wow, that's pretty sick. I'll go check it out. Aaron, Goat Throne Aaron, he's he's always like, you got to check this band out. You got to check, and they're always on his label. You know what I mean? So
the same time.
Yeah, it's like, amazingly, they're on Gate Throne. You should buy it. It's right here. So no. So now recommendations, but I don't go purposely looking for something unless, like I said, it's something that Necron has played that trick the user.
Damn,
you guys are way more adventurous than what I am.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's just good. I mean, especially when you get certain bands that because there's a lot of maybe some old school bands. I think Rich talked about it once. I heard Rich say it on with you guys with the stream, where there was bands from the '90s that you just never even heard about, or whatever the case may be, and then you rediscover their stuff. Damn, man, where was these guys? Because you was always chunked into certain things you were listening to, and then you go back and you listen to. I mean, I'll give you one. Remember, I think when I started getting back into vinyls, Tone and Rich know, I picked up this old new wave of British heavy metal band called Exiller. I think they're called EXLIR. I picked up one of their albums, fucking old school metal. And that album was released, I think, in 1985, the first album, and I got hooked. So I picked up the rest of the albums, and I enjoyed it. And I was like, man, where were these guys at? There's a lot of little things that you just find out from the past, and that you're like, wow. They were probably big at their time in certain areas, but they just didn't really hit you in your time frame when you were listening to them.
Yeah. And then, like, did you ever, there's a, what's the label called? Riding Easy? Have you ever heard of them? Riding Easy Records?
That sounds like a hip hop label.
No, you think so, right? Label. But, sorry?
Sounds like a porn label.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of adjacent too, because what they released, right, is that the metal, like when Priest and Motorhead were just kind of coming out, and Sabbath were in that thing. So bands that were like them, but you never heard about them because they probably only did a 7-inch or something like that, and they're freaking good, like really, really good. But they just never got exposed because at that time they did their thing and then they broke up and they went to obscurity. Well, they've gone back and found all of these B, C tier level bands that never made it from back in the 70s that were all these doom bands or metal bands. And it's awesome. Like, that shit's exciting as hell when you go, fucking hell, there was another band that was like Sabbath that sounded awesome as well, back right at the same time.
Yeah, and they probably just got thrown under the rug because they just gave them a Sabbath sound, and they didn't want to deal with them because everything was about Sabbath at the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Zeppelin, Sabbath, and whatever. And but it was only the big boys that got through. Well, yeah, Riding Easy Records, if you want to go dip your toe back into the 70s metal, you've never heard of anyone on that fucking label.
You're gonna laugh. That's Rich knows this. I'm big into that. That's one of my little hobbies. I like collecting old 70s bands that never made it, from psychedelic rock and all that. So I have bands that are real. Like, you ever heard the Road? ROAD? They were members of Jimi Hendrix band, and then they went on their own. That album is amazing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember doing that for the 80s glam stuff. I'd be into the B and C tier level stuff, and then it was all the other stuff. And when I got over here, I was on eBay, and I was looking for a band called Bogus Toms, right? Because I'd been given one song, and I was like, I'm going to go find the CD. I know they did it. Anyway, I ended up buying it from the singer who was in that band. So I had a conversation with him, and he goes, I got a box of these CDs. He goes, for a few bucks extra, you can buy them all. Do I? So I bought them. I got 80 CDs of the one title because I thought, now I'm never going to run out, And now I've got 80 CDs, but he signed one, so I kept it. But I'll send you one if you're into that stuff at all. It basically sounds like AC/DC.
Yeah. That's my right there,
dude. They wrote some really killer tracks, but they were just too late. They were too late in the game.
Yeah, that happens sometimes with certain bands that, like a certain band is like dominates that particular genre of music, and other bands come around that time, but they missed the boat because now we've moved on to another genre, but they're like in the middle and stuff. Like another band that Tone and I really got into was called Wicked Lady. Remember Tone, Wicked Lady?
That's a band tell Lee to listen to. Wicked Lady was the reason he didn't made it big was because he was it's almost like an NSB band thing. He was associated with the Hells Angels. So every time he performed, the Hells Angels come to the club, beat up everybody. So we can't have this guy perform. But he released. It wasn't even really 2 albums he released. It was what they could find of his band. It wound up being 2 albums. But if you hear it, the guy's an amazing guitar player.
Yeah.
It's a shame that he didn't make it big because he was associated with the Hells Angels.
Yeah.
Now that would be extra cool, right? I mean, now it wouldn't even be like look twice at it.
Nope. Never have a chance, Lee. Listen to a band that's called Highway Robbery. They're from the 70s too. Yeah, right. I think you'll dig that band. They're real good.
All right. I mean, see, I should have brought my book. I brought my pen.
Yeah, I got my pen too.
You'll have to text it to me afterwards because I'm gonna forget that.
I'll definitely text it.
Text me that.
So let me ask you. Since since you've been living here, in the States, East Coast side, what have been the myths about living in the U.S. that were true or false? That you went to Australia, and then you came to the States. There's people saying. I mean, I'll give you an example. Me and my wife, we took a trip to Arizona a couple of years back. For some reason, my mother-in-law was not keen on us visiting Arizona. She was throwing the thing that there's racists out there and a whole bunch of different things. We went to Arizona. We had a great fucking time. We want to move to Arizona. That's our retirement place. We want to go. Okay. So, so that was that premeditation of people giving false about a place. What was your thing where people threw negativity about the United States that you debunked?
That everyone owns a gun, and maybe they do, but I've only seen a few of them.
Oh, that's not true.
Well, I mean, I think it was more of a dangerous thing. It was dangerous, and I came here very much not wanting to go to Philly or not wanting to go to clubs because I didn't really want to be shot. And I mean, I've walked around Philly at night, probably not the places they get you shot, but I've walked around and people just want to go out and do stuff or eat, and they don't give a shit about you unless you're making a spectacle of yourself. So no one pays you any mind, and you can be crazy and outlandish as long as you're not hurting anyone. You're just part of the scenery, as Revic showed us in New York, right?
Yeah.
So I found that you become kind of not everyone's dangerous, not everyone's crazy, and not everyone has a gun. I think the outside world thinks all Americans are basically like that big Texan that like everyone's just shooting guns in the air and driving pickup trucks and stuff like that. But I mean, especially on the East Coast, everyone's pretty regular, man. Very similar to Sydney. So they're a lot more like straight shooting. To excuse the pun, but they're a lot more cutting to the bone. Like if they don't like something, they tell you that they don't like it, or so they're very open about that stuff. What's true? North Jersey, everything they told me about North Jersey is 100% true. Don't ever drive there. That sucks. But I love it. I kind of love the crazy element of this country when I do get to see it. Everything's a movie. If you ever see a car crash on the highways, as horrendous as it is, it looks like a fucking chase from a movie. Just cars are going airborne. Like everything's just wow. That's nuts. You would never see that back home. So I love the craziness that is true, and some of the stuff that I was a little bit trepidatious about just turned out to be bullshit that no one, there's no basis in reality at all.
All right, so
you can always consider.
But I love Arizona. I've been there, man. That just looks like every John Wayne film I've ever seen.
The United States, I always tell people, it's like 50 little countries and combined. Because if you go to the state, everybody's different. Their accent is different, and their lifestyles are a little different than, say, from New York when we went to Ohio.
Yeah.
Difference from a New York to Ohio or when we went to Texas, how they act.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the great thing about this country.
It is. And like New York just does give me a little bit of, oh, fuck, I want to do it. It's almost like wanting to jump off that higher board, you know, like I want to do it. It's so exciting. And then when I get to the edge, I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it no more. So it's a little bit of it is that. And I know when I get there, I'll be like, this is fucking amazing. Because I've driven around.
When you get to New York, we'll be in the pool saying, jump.
We'll catch you.
We'll be here. We'll catch you.
Yep.
I've driven around LA and they say LA traffic's shocking, but I don't know if people in LA are as fucking get out the window honking the horns and stuff as much as you guys do it. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, New York is probably that last step that I need to conquer before I can say that I've done it all, you know.
Yeah. I think the only thing I think what will scare you the most is I'll let you jump in the car with my wife and let my wife go through traffic with you. That will scare the shit out of you. Then you'll be like wanting to run back to Germany. Yeah, my wife, the road rage my wife has is beyond.
Off the chain.
I always have a running joke, but I'm serious. I tell her, I said, she'll laugh, yeah, whatever. I said, if I get a call from the cops that say they got you in the car, I already know why. I'm going to get the car and leave you in jail. I already know.
You probably did it.
I don't need to hear nothing. I'm going to get the car and you're going to stay there for a couple of days. That's it. And if she sees this, I know I'm going to get hell for it, but she knows. I've told her that plenty of times.
And I think you got to be like that in a sense, right? Because I remember when my North Jersey trip, that was the most hair-raising journey I've ever had. And there's 8 lanes, and I'm always in the wrong one. Right? It doesn't matter where I'm going, I'm always in the wrong one, and people are honking their horns, and I'm just trying to just get over because my exit's coming up in a mile, which seems like a long way, but not when you're in a traffic, like 8 lanes of traffic, dude. It's like right there, so you've got to get over quick. So, yeah, it's a great place. I'd never go home, Australia. I'm never coming back.
Well, I got something for you real quick. I'm sorry, Tony, because I wanted to get this out of the way because this is actually my last little bits. As far as, animals, rodents, and all that stuff between the United States and Australia, I think New Jersey and New York City pretty much share the same type of rodents and animals. So I threw this in a death match, right? There was always rumors in New York City where we've had a New York City crocodile in the sewers. So a New York City crocodile versus an Australian croc. Go.
Oh, gee, see, I would say the New York one only because they'd be way used to fighting, right? I mean, there's so much more. I think they're built for it. It's. Someone said to me the other day about the gorilla and 100 men who would win. I'm like, well, 100 men are going to eventually overpower this thing. They're like, the gorilla's built for this, man. I'm like, I think the New York City croc is built for destruction, where the Australian croc is big. I think he's like, I got to go all the way over there. I'll get there. And they're not really. There's not really the predatory. Not everything's going to kill you over there. And if he's the top of the food chain, he's going to wait his turn, man. He's going to go over there when he wants, and he's going to kill you. But New York, they're probably ready to go anytime, any second.
One more battle. All right? One more battle. New York City rat versus a koala bear.
Oh, the rat's fucking him up 100%. That koala didn't even open his mind.
It's the pizza rat.
Dude, the problem is that the koala is too laid back and chilled. It's eating the bamboos all day, and the rat is gonna just, claw.
Yeah. And they're always high too, because that's what the gum leaves do. It makes them fucking sleep all the time, right? So, but they do have herpes apparently. It's one of the STDs. Koalas are a big carrier of.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
so now that's good to know. That's a message for the people to wear protection if they're gonna have any, affairs with koalas in Australia.
Stay away from the koalas with your pants down. You'll be fine.
And don't leave that koala next to Revic's shed. Then forget about it. They have a ball. All right, Tone. Wow. I didn't mean to cut you off, Tone.
Yeah,
Tone, get a question in.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you. Now, last time I talked to you, you had no plans of getting a real band together to play live, right?
Until someone said your kid can play.
Yeah, my kid could play. He could. Yeah, I would like to think, but I'm saying, say something comes up like when we went to Texas. Say the Joava Fair #2 comes up, and he wants and Francisco wants you to play. Would you consider that now you're in the label that has a lot of great talent? Just for one night, get some guys to help you out to perform. Would you do it?
In the very unlikely event that Fran says he wants my band to play, which I got a funny story about that too. But I would like to do. You know what I'd love to do, and only because I know the words to basically most of the songs. I know one of them really well. I would love to do the "I Killed 3 People" with Revit, just because. But again, it's like I don't know if I can pull that off live. Like I'm out of practice. I haven't played live since fuck man. It'll probably have to be the 2010s. So I mean, in that sense, I don't know. I'd really have to think about. I don't want to get up there and look stupid. You know, I really don't.
It's black metal, man.
I get it, but I mean, I don't want to. I just, you know, like I was saying to Barry, like, what if the adrenaline kicks in and you want to just go out there and you want to stage dive and no one's there to catch it? Like that's going to live with me forever. So I don't know. I would maybe love to do a song just because it'd be cool just to kind of dip my toe in the water. But yeah, I love just you were there, Rich. You were there. How much fun did we have in that crowd just watching people? How do you beat that by getting on stage? What to just like I can get some ego stroking and then come back off and look around to see who notices? And you're like, we had so much fun. We were drinking, we were laughing. We had all these people that were talking to us. I mean, dude, what else could beat that night? The next we need. I said to them there, Barry. I said, why you aren't here? Just would have made the whole circle would have been great to see us all in the one space. But I mean, dude, it's so much fun just to be at the show. I don't necessarily have any desire to want to play a show.
Gotcha.
You know?
I have a quick question, Lee, following up on that. Being that you're so diverse that you're not just into black metal, you know, you listen to hard rock and glam and death metal and doom and all this and that. Would you ever consider, now that you have all your instruments in your studio, doing another project, even if it's solo, of a different kind of genre of music?
Well, I did do, as much as I don't like it and it happened to come out really cool, I did do a punk song.
Oh,
and I even I had a name for it, and I was going to do like maybe 4 songs because it was really kind of cool to play, and I didn't have to go anymore. I could actually get in some really cool beats and stuff, and I was like, I might still do it. Like, you know, I just thought it was and the vocals were sweet. Like I really liked the way with punk, or my version of punk. It was there's a chorus that has actual melody lines through it, and you can shout the choruses as well. You don't have to be stuck to the punk thing. It can sound punk without being traditionally punk, you know. So I don't know. I might do it because it's just different. Yeah, it'll give me something to do, you know.
You could call yourself Hammer UK.
Yeah, well, maybe. But yeah, I mean, I put a name on it, the whole thing, and I've got like 2 songs which I think are cool. But I've also got, which I think I'll send to you after this, just because I found an old demo which I recorded and then I lost it. But I had a song there called "Gather Round Me, Children of God," and dude, if it doesn't sound like Motley Crue, I don't know what does. It's even got the wows in there. It's fucking amazing. And I was listening to it, going, dude, I don't know what I was thinking, but that sounds awesome.
So you're saying that maybe we might see Lee from Warhammer wearing the leopard skin spandex from the 70s.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna look like the middle-aged man doing it. Like the belly's just gonna be out under it, and it's gonna be visible. And every time I put my hand in the air, my belly button's gonna pop out, and you'll see some titties. It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man,
nice.
The black metal version of the rocker.
Yeah.
What else you got, Tom?
Yeah, real quick. What you call? What do you prefer, whiskey or beer?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, definitely. I drink beer because it's cheaper. But I saw someone recently pick up a Jack and Coke, and now I really want a Jack and Coke. So if push comes to shove and someone's buying Jack and Coke all day long, 100%. And I got to ask this question, Tone, because it's so off the cuff. Is Jack Daniels a whiskey or is it a bourbon? I don't know the difference.
It's a whiskey. It's a whiskey.
Bourbon. I always thought it was a bourbon. Always thought.
It's a higher brand of whiskey, bourbon. It's aged more.
What's a bourbon? Like is that Buffalo fucking thing? Is that bourbon?
Buffalo is a bourbon, yes. Buffalo's
right. Okay.
Buffalo's a bourbon. Mark, what's it called?
Maker's Mark.
Maker's Mark is a bourbon.
Okay. Is that going to be stronger alcohol content?
Tell you the truth, to me, I drink since then. None of them really. They're all the same to me. It doesn't really matter. But there is one thing that you wasn't around that more. The whole band of Mordit loves and Bear and all of us were drinking. I found a Jack Daniel rye. But
I've tried that.
Huh?
I tried that.
Yes, and that is amazing. That's one that I'm still searching for to get my hands on again.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I bought that only recently. It was like $50.
You can find it. You can find it here and there, but it sells out so quick.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
I must have gotten lucky because I had it. I drunk some.
Single barrel from Jack Daniels is the top of the line when you're dealing.
Okay.
With
and if you're on a budget, then Jim Beam is good.
Jim Beam improved. It's come out with a new one that I was telling my cousin at my regular local bar. We've been pounding them back. The Jim Beam is good.
And we call them premixes, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I was the Jim Beam, right? Oh, sorry. What was that one?
No, I was just saying that on the high end, Pappy Van Winkle's. Pappy Van Winkle's is a high end one. It's a little more expensive, but it's one of the top line ones.
Okay, Happy Van Winkle. I've never heard.
Yeah.
Bullet is a good whiskey.
Sorry, say that one again.
Yeah, Bullet is a good whiskey.
Well, I mean, Jack, if I'm going to drink anything, like I'll get Gentleman Jack over Jack. I really love the smoothness of that. And then when I bought that $50 bottle, which is the rye one, all I wanted was the Gentleman Jack. So I think I got used to something. You know what I mean? And I was like, this is way more crunchy or whatever that is, or stronger. It was way stronger.
But this is what I do. When it comes to Jack Daniels, the original, that I use for when I drink it with Coke.
Yes.
When it deals with single barrel, no, you can't add anything to it because that's how good it is.
That's what I think I messed up because I got the rye and I tried to add it to Coke.
No, you do not.
And someone said that, what are you doing? You ruined it. I was like, I don't know. I thought that's what you were supposed to do. But Gentleman Jack goes with Coke, fantastic.
Gentleman Jack and regular Jack, the original Jack, those two you can do it with Coke.
Yeah.
The other ones, that's straight up. That's where you taste the difference.
Do you add water? Do you put the water in it?
Oh hell no water.
No, okay, all right.
Lemon, little shot of lemon once in a while, but when it comes to the higher I go, the more it's just straight up.
and then you know what happens, Lee? He takes off all his clothes at 3:00 in the morning, and he starts blasting black metal. And he turns off all the lights, and he puts on the air conditioner with a candle, and he's just there meditating.
Yeah. You got to get the coldness of black metal, so I have to freeze that house.
And you know what blows my mind about you saying and the higher shelf one, and then the higher shelf one is that I'm pretty sure a few months ago we were in a gas station picking up beer.
Yeah. Hey. At 3 in the morning, I can't be choosy, you know.
That's right. Can't be choosy.
And let me just say something real quick because I've never said this before, and I spoke to Tone about this. I was so inebriated that night that when we went to that gas station, Revic Revik had asked for White Claws, you know, those seltzer ones. And I bought them and I left them at the counter and I walked out with the case of beer and I forgot to go back to get the White Claws. So he was forced to drink the other beer. And he was already gone. You know?
I'll never understand how he does White Claws in public. All right.
You know, it's a balance, you know. But he also says, I don't care. I drink anything, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And I bet he does those hand movements too. I don't care. I just drink anything. I can see him doing it too.
He don't get too intoxicated like in Texas.
oh boy.
Yeah.
Dude, he started a conversation with me, which I wish he finished, because every time he got to the good part, someone would go, "Morning, Red," and he'd be like, "Fuck, come back." Dude, he was funny fucking dude, man.
He was so tanked that he started giving me Ric Flair chops. Like, woo, woo, woo. And I started
that guy's a fucking party, man.
But you know he's a big dude, right? So he was
when
I came back over, I just touched him and he fell. I was like, what the fuck?
Yo,
man.
He told me, yeah. Are you going to? I told him I'm going to Vegas next week. And he's like, yeah, let's party and all that. I even got a room with an extra bed. He never showed up. He said, I don't recall the conversation. That's how drunk he was.
But he looks so in control, right? When Revik's in before show mode, he's so fucking straight down the line. Business. You can talk to him. He'll give you these great answers. The mask goes on, a shot goes in, and then that's fucking it. It's over for everybody.
Takes over.
Yeah, I mean, you were there at that bar in Texas. What was did you hear the screaming between him and the barmaid? Because the wife was saying that when they were leaving, they were screaming at each other. And I was like, I missed
Which bar? Because we went to several bars.
The first one, the one where the
pandemic.
Yeah, the one.
Yeah.
With the lady and the cowboy, I like to call it.
The problem with him is that when he gets together with the nocturnal penetrator and the ugly one, you know, they just want to do crazy things, you know.
But they're so laid back. When he goes, they did this, I'm like, who did it, Revy? Who do you remember doing it?
The one.
Because I remember I said to Nocturnal, I said, thanks, fuck, you guys are driving him home, and he goes, what are you talking about? I brought my own car. He can fucking go home with them. He was going home by himself. He was having a blast. Great fucking guys, man, all of them.
Yeah.
We had a good time when they came to New York in November. We had a good time in Texas. And that Ohio show was a blast, especially with Vincent Crowley and the rest of that crew. It was great.
Yeah, and my only regret was I didn't get to have a real good chat to him. But I mean, he seemed like a super nice guy. But he was upset at the people by the sounds of it, the people who owned it. But I mean, there's nothing better than at the end of a show being screamed at to get out, is there? I mean, that just tops the fucking night.
That guy had enough. The guy at the front, because the kid had burned that Bible, and there was like flames, and he was like, "I want him out." And then when we started that pit, somebody picked up that statue, and they started. Like moshing around with it.
What do you expect? It wasn't nailed down. You've got a Mordant Red show going on. Of course, someone's going to pick up the Kabuki man and dance around the stage.
Kabuki man.
What do you expect? You know? But there's the
always
stories like
time.
that. The stories like that. How do you fucking top that shit by saying, I'm going to play the show? Like, it gives a shit after that, man. I want to see the Kabuki dance and I want to see the Bible burn. I'm happy. I'm fucking happy.
And the fact that he stood at a nice hotel and he's walking up and down the hallway with the mask on and just in his boxers at like 6 a.m.
He's a modern day Nikki Sixx.
Yeah,
that's what he is, man. I love him.
Do his boxers have the patches too?
I hope so.
They probably got on his boxers.
They probably got the front cut out for the breathing hole, you know. Dude, awesome guys. And I mean, you guys make the journey worth it too. Like, fucking hell, both times. I've only been out twice, been out of the state twice. Both times I've had a blast. So I mean, anywhere you guys go, if I got the money in my pocket, I'll be fucking right beside you, because that was the best times. Barry, you got to come
now,
along.
man,
We're going to smuggle you out.
Yeah, man. It's funny because everything that went on with me as far as the new job and what I went through.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, man, if this would have been like during my time where I was already still working, I could have fucking hey, I'm taking vacation this day. I would have had days to take off or whatever the case may be. Shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, there's the ending of the year in December. Francisco's big on festival.
Oh, he's doing it?
Hopefully.
Whoa. Is that a scoop? Because I haven't heard that.
Well, he says he's gonna do. He's gonna do another one. That'll be in December. He's trying to get it together.
All right. Well, I'm not going to go and say on the fucking record that I was the one who gave him that idea. I fucking gave you that idea, Francisco. You motherfucker. I said, Joe Emberfest 2026. It's on my Instagram, and I'll fight him for it.
Yep. He said JOABA Fest 2. Make it happen.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
Fucking
Warhammer
we'll be there.
6.
Maybe not, but definitely I'll be there at the show. And the same bands, man. Shove Morden on there because I love seeing the guy play, but same bands. And Infuriator, throw them all on. Who gives a fuck? Just put them all in the thing.
Drucifer's band.
Yeah.
And
I want to see them too.
Hexello was really good too, man.
Yeah, they're one of my new favorites. I will say, and it's really because I must have a man crush on JD, but fucking Hexella or Hexea, great fucking band.
Yeah,
one of the fucking
JD's really talented. His wife is really good at vocals, but also Bias Leader is good that night.
Yeah, Carl's band,
Necron.
They were fucking amazing.
And
they did say
the intensity and the craziness of Burt Bacharach with Tim and them.
And there's two guys.
Crazy.
I thought there was more than two guys.
Like going crazy.
Oh, dude!
Don't forget the King, bro. He opening up the show.
I think he should be like a staple on all of their shows. He should be at every single one of them, just playing, even if he's by himself.
Yeah,
he's amazing. He's a good guy. I like him. This has been awesome. Fuck yeah, I love this show. I would come back tomorrow if you'd let me.
No, you always wanted to ask you this, Lee. Switching over now to horror, right? How you do you prefer sometimes when you watch a horror movie? Have you ever read a book and then watched the horror movie and been disappointed, or you felt that the movie was better than the actual book?
You know what? I started and I saw that there was a movie, so I stopped reading. I heard it was way different. World War Z. I started World War Z, right? The book, and now what I got out of that was like the movie should have fucking been awesome. But I understand why they did what they did. But probably that because have you ever read the World War Z book?
No.
Well, it was like you saw the movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was kind of had some cool things in it, and then it was like, oh, fucking cold can kill the zombies or can stop them from eating you. It was dumb. But the book had there was a New York part there was a New York City one, I think. And then there was an event that was happening there. And then somewhere else in the book, it happened in fucking India. And then another thing was happening. And it was like different stories from all over the world of these things that were happening all over the world. Like that would have been cool to see maybe like a few more things like that. Like a World War Z, like a part 2, but now it's in a different part of the world. Like I understood they went to the Israeli thing where they were climbing up the walls. That looked fucking amazing.
That was a bugged out scene. Yeah,
that was so cool. And no other zombie film had done that. Like people are going to yell at me calling it a zombie film, but it was like no other film that had that type of thing has really gone like that. But I just picked up this time because. Can you see it?
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead, because I want to, now that I've seen the movie a billion times, I figured I'd watch this. Read this. And when I bought it from the guy, he was in the Monroeville Mall, and I said, "What is it? Is it different?" He goes, "No, not really." I was like, "Okay," but he does say the character development's a lot more fleshed out, but he was pretty true to the book. But still, I want to read that because everyone says it's great. So No, I'm not a book reader, man. I love movies because I can not think and drink while I'm watching them and being entertained.
Oh, yeah, lately I've gotten into that. I watch the movies, and lately, like I was telling Bear a few days ago, I don't know if you ever seen a movie called The Wolfman.
Yeah, I've seen you talk about it, and I have seen it. It was fucking, I can't remember, a long time ago.
Yeah, I was reading the book, and the book is entirely different than the movie.
Yeah,
it was. I was like, wow, they should have done the book. I love the movie. Don't get me wrong; it's one of my favorite werewolf movies. But the book had more what you call suspense and other elements, and it kind of got deeper into the werewolf than the movie did.
Wasn't that the same story with like Silence of the Lambs? Like the movie was different than the book, and both of them were fucking amazing.
I never read the book, but I know the movie was amazing.
Yeah,
and
I remember hearing that.
Remember, they try to say in the Academy Awards it was not a horror movie. They can fuck themselves with their fucking
psychological thriller tone.
Yeah, what the fuck is a psycho?
Well, who was it? Was it you or was it someone else? Like they will never give a horror movie fucking Oscar, right? Was it you I was talking to, or you said this? But if they name it a psychological thriller, well, then it highbrows it.
Yes.
All right, and then you can give it an Oscar. The horror genre film, go fuck yourself. You know, you're a one-man black metal band as far as we're concerned, right? You're not getting shit. Right.
So they'll probably say to a DMS band that they're emotionally disturbed, so now they can give them an Academy. Grammy.
Exactly.
Because now that you say that, Tone, didn't they do the same thing with when Sigourney Weaver won for Best Actress for Aliens? No, right? That they didn't call it sci-fi horror. They called it action adventure, I think, or something like that. They didn't use sci-fi because Aliens, regardless of the type of movie it was with, the action in it, but it was still considered like a sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
So
it's a slasher movie. It's a slasher film with an alien in it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's what it is.
Remember that movie Toro did that he won Shape of Water, whatever it was called.
Guillermo del Toro.
That movie, they called it a dark fantasy. It's a fucking
the zombie
of the
Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Oh right, yeah. But what about the other one, the one with the kids in it, and they were zombies, but they were kind of keeping them under control, and then that went fucking haywire. There's an opening scene. I don't know who. I'll find out because we're only watching it the other day. It's like there's a classroom and you see all these. I'm pretty sure they're kids by memory, and they're all kind of got these things in them and they're just docile, and then they something goes wrong outside and it attacks. All these fucking zombies attack, and there's like one of them that is kind of smarter than the rest, but ultimately it's a zombie film. I hate when they try to make a zombie human, but this to me was like a full-on zombie film, and just had this element of just to legitimize it so we could call it something else, but it was definitely zombie. Oh, and the 28 years later, that looks fucking amazing too. I know it's probably going to suck, but it's by what I've seen on the shorts, that looks or the trailer, that looks fucking great. Return of the Living Dead's coming back. I mean, Jesus, fuck.
That should be a good movie this year.
Do you think that Return of the Living Dead's going to be good, or do you reckon you saw the best part of it in the trailer? It probably isn't in the movie.
Gotta see.
It's one of those things where you see these people doing the reboots and reshoots or whatever, and I always sit there, going in, I'm gonna get disappointed. So at least then, if it's good, then I'm happy. Then it's good. If it's disappointed, then it doesn't matter. It will be because I'm not really too much of a fan of them doing stuff like that. I understand sometimes that they try to like take old movies and try to bring in more of an updated for like a newer generation of people. But some of those movies they redo is like it was great for its time and it ages well. Some of those movies just age well, where it doesn't matter when you watch it, you're still gonna enjoy it no matter what time you watch it. But like Elm Street, I still can't. That freaking remake, I still can't stand it.
But Tone, have you ever seen a remake? Which you've gone, fuck yeah, that was worth it.
Damn, I think
Texas
was talking about it.
Texas Chainsaw
was good.
Oh, the Netflix one?
Yeah. Well,
that started off.
That was a remake. The Hills Have Eyes wasn't that bad. The remake
first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was good, but
And the Friday the
Netflix
13th, the first remake they did, Friday the 13th, I thought was pretty good.
It was good, but then they started, I don't know, in the middle, it kind of
Yeah, but because they blended pretty much the first three. Was it the first three movies?
Yeah, 3 movies into
the first. But it wasn't bad. I mean, I enjoyed the fact that he was brutal. So I like that. They kept the brutalness in there at least.
But the beginning of it, when he goes after those guys in the pot field, when it was smoking, that was some brutal shit. He fucked up everybody in that.
Yeah, so there's some that could get a pass with the remakes or whatever. They could get a pass, but then there's some you're just like, why? Like, why did you do that?
Well, the Texas Chainsaw Netflix started out, and I'm like, this is just going to be. I'm going to get given a lesson on how bad of a human being I am, right? Because of all the stuff that I figured that was going on. But then it changed. All those people that would normally be like the heroic, like the very minority characters, started getting fucking slaughtered. And I was like, perfect, here we go. And then the fucking ending was amazing. It was like
that school bus scene was so crazy.
Yeah. It was, and I loved the Dawn of the Dead remake. I thought that was good. I thought, not that it brings back, like remnants of this, but I thought that was entertaining. I loved watching that. But yeah,
I had a quick question on that. Like, I know that you used to, in the last episode, you said that you were into like tape trading and selling of like, hard to get horror films. Just out of what you've watched over the years, who's one of your favorite like directors, like that you feel like, damn, this guy's filmography, it really stands out?
Well, I like Lucio Fulci, but not for the same reasons everyone else does. But you know who I thought was a better film, and then he tried to do it again, and it sucked. And I know this isn't answering your question, but it's kind of in the same vein. Do you remember Hell of the Living Dead? I think they named it a bunch of different names.
Yeah. That's that Italian one that it's a leak or a toxic leak, and everybody turns out to something. Yeah.
Now, I enjoyed that just as much as Dawn of the Dead. All right. And I think it was just because it was just trashy enough to not have to think, and I got to see the same people get eaten. The acting was horrible, but it had that element of the cannibal element in it too, like the cannibal film element. Mm-hmm. So you get to see people being cannibals, and then you got to see zombies attack the cannibals. Never happened before in any other film by my memory, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a film like that. No. So I love that, and I can't remember the guy who did it, but didn't he have an alias?
No, I think that was wasn't it what's his name again?
But in that it was like Frank someone?
No, it was man, I forgot. It's with an M. It was his last name. I forgot. I gotta look at
Martino, right? Martino? Huh? Not Martino, too?
No, Martino does Giallos.
Oh, okay.
This guy loves ripping off other people's horror movies and making them into his own.
Yeah.
That's the thing about back in the days, that you had all those directors like, Lucio Fulci and Dario Argento and George Romero, but then you had those guys that would like kind of do rip-offs, and some of those films were just as good as the other ones.
Yeah.
It's
dude, and they were enjoyable because they kind of cut the fat out, right? They just basically said, we got zombies and we got a girl that'll get naked, and we got some really shitty actors over here. We'll make her the hero because she'll get naked, and these other guys will be fodder, but they'll die awesomely. Perfect. You don't need a script. Just throw them in the jungle and let them fucking shoot zombies in the head. Perfect.
You just describe Burial Ground.
Yeah. Get it? And you swear to
favorite.
Yeah. And that movie was written around just some gore scenes that they wanted to put out there, right? And that's what I think Lucio Fulci films are. He's got this idea for gore scenes, and he's like, oh, fuck, I better make a movie. And it's like, that's why his movies suck, but the gore is fucking amazing. Now, he pulls out a good one every so often, but it wasn't many of them, dude. If you're honest with yourself.
My favorite part out of Burial Ground is when that kid is going, Mama.
Yeah.
Mama. And then he grabs that titty and goes, oh,
and the way the flesh just tears out is like, oh, and you felt that. I'm not even a female, I don't think, and boobs hurt after that. I was like, oh god, that's horrible. And he takes the nipple, right?
Yep.
Oh, dude.
That is definitely a Richie zombie right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
To this day, that guy is living on. That's how he pays his rent.
Yeah, that's right. You're saying,
They made
he was
ice
saying
cream
that.
for him, all kinds of shit.
dude.
Yeah.
And
So, sometimes, like, you'll watch a movie, and all it takes is one scene to make an impact to bring you back to that moment. Like when Tone's mother saw Zombie. When they went to the theater on 35 millimeter, you guys saw it in the Bronx. The scene where the stick is going through the eye, she threw out a blood curdling scream, and right, Tone, she even called him the other day.
The other day she called me because she lives in Puerto Rico now. They showed the movie in Puerto Rico in Spanish. She was bugging out. She called me just to tell me that they're showing it with the eye, and they showed the scene with the eye, and she goes crazy over it.
because they cut that out in Australia. And it wasn't until much later that they put it back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would see it, and then you would get the cutaway, and then it would just be in her face. And she'd be and that would be it, over. So, yeah, I remember renting that, thinking, there's got to be more to that. But then later on, someone goes, I got the uncut one, put it on. Let's just broadcast to that scene because all the way through.
That's a classic.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Italian movies are they were good for the reasons that you didn't think they were going to be good, but they were just, Irreversible. Did you ever see that movie?
Yes, that's a sick movie.
Yeah, but now I don't remember anything of that movie except for the fire hydrant into the face. Boom.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Was like this.
Yeah. What a great effect that was.
Yeah.
And you felt every blow of that, I don't remember one part of it apart from when I see pictures oh yeah, that's right. There was a rape scene in it. A pretty bad one.
That's that scene was the reason why they banned the movie.
Oh, for that scene?
The rape scene, yeah. In the United
they said people walked out of the cinema during the fire hydrant scene. They said that was that was 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
People were walking out because of that.
That movie was the only one that I went to Times Square to see, and they had pulled it out. Yeah, I winded up watching it out of all places, this small little theater up in 63rd Street.
Yeah.
Actually was showing it. Yeah, I said, oh shit, I put down my money quick and went in and sat there. I was like, out of all places, Times Square took it off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, remember there used to be, I swear it was like a how far can you make it? But you all saw Serbian movie, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it was I stuck around just to see how depraved that film can go, and it got there, right? It got there in flying colours. There's another one that was on Tubi for the longest time, and it was called Atroz. Did you ever see that one?
Ross.
Is that a Mexican one? A Mexican director? Yeah.
And ATROZ. I'll send it to you.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Wow. That fucking had Serbian film dead to rights, as what's her name, out on a stretcher. Fucking carried out on a stretcher. It was brutal.
Really real quick, before I lose this thought, I went to go see Serbian film in the theater, and I was off from work that day, right? And it was only me and one old man sitting in the front. And when the movie finished, the old man got up and looked at me and said, wow, that was a fucked up movie. Fuck yeah. That shit was fucking crazy. And the guy was like, fuck yeah. And this was like an older guy. And I was like, I'll never forget that. I was like, wow, we just witnessed a crazy fucking movie.
I would have moved seats because it's like if you trust yourself, right? But anyone else who goes and sees that film in a cinema, you're like, I should sit so I can watch him. No, I don't see him.
The same thing I experienced with another movie with Rutger Hauer called Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yeah.
I saw that and it was only me and like two other people.
But you know crazy. What? But one movie you should, I don't know if you've ever seen it, that doesn't get talked at all, that me, Rich, saw. It was Murder Set Pieces.
Oh,
yeah. That was the toe tag picture guy. So he would do all the...
the toe tag picture guy is Fred Vogel. This guy is Chuck Palumbo, I think.
Yeah,
Chuck Palumbo. Yeah.
Well, he did. Didn't he do a he did a movie like that in like a house? I thought that was called Murder Set Pieces.
No, Murder Set Pieces is about a sick Nazi guy that goes around in Vegas killing hookers.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I swear to God, I've seen it, but obviously I've got it mixed up. But the toe tag guy did the Mortem. He did the underground
Yeah.
moon or
The
underground full
toe
moon or
tag guy,
something.
Fred Vogel,
Yeah.
Tone and I were at Cinema Wasteland in Ohio.
Mhm.
And the guy was mad cool. He invited us to like a private party, and we partied with him. And ever since, like, we were like buying movies off him, and he was the one that did the movie called August Underground, and it was
August Underground. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was Pendulum, August Underground, and
Yep.
what was the other one, Tone? The Tower one.
No,
Yeah, that's
Tower
the one I'm
was-
thinking of.
Tower
Yeah.
was his best movie. That's where he put money and the special effects. I've loved that movie, but that wasn't part of that trilogy.
No, it didn't feel like
No?
it was.
No,
Okay, I'm mixing it up.
the last one was something else, but the Tower is about has satanic is about a satanic thing that they did. That's to me. I always say, and you know what's another one he did called The Interview, about a guy who goes into a prison. That's his last movie that he's done. That goes into a prison to interview a guy that's going on death row, and he's telling the story, and then that shit gets bonkers, man.
And you know the thing about that guy is that he went to school in Pittsburgh, and he was under the apprenticeship of Tom Savini.
Yeah, Tom Savini.
Oh, really? He did that class?
Yeah. And we met Tom Savini in Texas, right, Tom?
Yeah, but he was normal that day.
Yeah.
There's other days that he's off that.
Yeah.
Oh,
We got a friend that does does the monster effects for Troma films, and and do you remember is it the Tromeo and Juliet and the cock?
Yeah.
So he like made me the cock monster, and he was going to sell it like at events because he had made this cock monster and he'd made like a big one, and then he made all the latex ones, and I got one of the latex ones off him. Man, it is fucking amazing. And you know what? I can't display it because the wife's like, where are you going to put that? Because we have kids down in this part because she does piano lessons, so I can't bring it down here. I can't put it upstairs because I got to walk through and we have people. So it's like I got a cock in a box. I can't fucking show it, and I love this cock. All right, take that as your clip and put that on a shirt. We should just end it right there. But no,
do
that
you guys
great
hear that noise out there in the background? There's like fire engines and police sirens and all that.
I see some smoke in the background. Is that
no, there's a lot of shit going on. There's like a car crash and somebody got getting into a fight.
No, it's ice there. They're ready to pick you up, Rich. They
Ice.
found you.
Shit, man.
They found you. In El Salvador.
New York, man.
You'll be fine, Rich.
Yeah, all right.
Just
You know where
wear the whatever that shirt.
Lee, you know where you should have put it? In the back with the guests coming in.
I left my cock in here, right? I'll be back.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's such. There's the coolest things here, but I've been to a few drive-ins where they do all that stuff. Where I didn't know drive-ins were still a thing, but I've gone to one up in the Poconos somewhere, and they show all these cool films, and fuck, it's amazing.
Lee, they used to have a drive-in in the Bronx. It was called Whitestone Drive-In, right, Tom?
Yeah, Whitestone.
Yeah, and you could see a lot of movies. And I saw Flash Gordon and E.T. there, and also Jaws, the film. I saw it there. It was crazy. It's a different feeling when you watch it amongst people in your car. You got popcorn. You're hearing it through a speaker that's all like over modulated.
Yeah.
You see the grain on the film.
Yeah,
it gives you a certain feeling.
Yeah.
But
I saw a trailer. I saw a trailer the other day. I thought they were remaking Jaws, and it's got like Richard Dreyfuss in it. No, that's what I said. Oh, get the fuck! But it had Richard Dreyfuss in it.
Not.
He was going out on a boat, and he was kind of acting like he's been here before. And I thought, remake Jaws. And then I saw it. It was like called something completely different. I was like, why would he fucking do this again?
No, please.
Not even the same movie.
Jaws.
They will, man. You know they're gonna do it.
That's like they want to remake of The Exorcist.
Well, didn't they do that?
Nah, they did a tail off another sequel to it, but then they didn't remake it. You can't remake those. Those are classics, man.
But people who didn't get to see it when it was there were going to watch it and think it's the best thing ever, and then they'll see the other one and go, "That's shitty. It's got no effects. It's got no jump scares, so it's crap." So,
but say, Lee, you and Miss A would be perfect to come one day with us. We Rich go to this place out in Pennsylvania. They do the 24-hour horror festival. It's all 35 millimeter.
Yeah.
It starts at noon and it finishes at noon the next morning.
Oh, fucking.
We did.
You'd be so crazy.
We didn't.
No, but Lee, you could go in and out of the theater. Like if you want to go eat or go to your hotel and go to the restroom or whatever, you could go in and out. But they don't stop playing movies from 12 till the next Sunday, 24 hours later. 35 millimeter films of all genres, whether it's action, kung fu, horror, you name it. And then they throw surprise movies, foreign movies, and they give away prizes, and it's really a big party. Just people drinking and talking about cinema. It's really cool.
Down the block, there's a beer store that sells beer from every country, and everybody
all kinds of beers.
All kinds. Everybody buying cases and cases of it.
Dude, you guys get spoiled for choice. That's what's wrong.
They wear pajamas after midnight. All the girls and everybody go into the bathrooms, and they come out in pajamas.
Oh boy!
And they sit there.
That's where the fun starts, right?
Yep.
Imagine Revick over there looking at these girls coming out pajamas. Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Look, as long as he's sober, he can figure it out. But there's the guy that I don't think could do it would be who was the hillbilly Jim guy? Hillbilly Grim, yeah. He would have a hard time containing himself, and he had a weird conversation with my wife at that show. Oh boy, yeah, it was like really bizarre. So she'll have to tell that one. But fucking hell, he's a character, dude. We don't get anything. I've never been into a place where you can go to an event that's got like shit like this place has. Like it's crazy that I feel like a horror fest. Oh, there's one next week, and it's just something going on all the time.
Yeah.
It's best country in the world as far as I'm concerned, and you can bitch all you fucking want about it. I mean, as far as the shit that you need to do or want to do, it's someone's catering for you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that's bullshit going on in the country. But what I always say is that you always got to find the things and the people that you gravitate towards. And that's when you find all the shit that you want to do. You just cut out all the bullshit and get straight to the good shit.
Yeah, just don't watch the news. I just found out Katy Perry went to space. And I'm like, how did that work? So I don't watch the TV, and I'm quite happy. And the world hasn't ended yet.
There's a big conspiracy theory about her going up in that big rocket dick she was supposedly in.
Oh, can I ask a question as New Yorkers? Because I get pinged for this at work, and I still don't believe that a government would do this, okay? So you can call me naive if you wish. But you're New Yorkers, and you were all fucking there at the time when 9/11 happened. At this point in 2025, do you think it was terrorists? Because I 100% believe it was terrorists. And if it turned out to be something else, it's going to ruin my whole inner dialogue.
Sorry. That conspiracy theory in me says no.
It was our US government. I work construction. I know when you do demo. Things were demoed down. That was all explode. A building at that the beams, because I wasn't in construction. We built a similar building. Mm-hmm. It's called Gem Towers.
Yeah.
And the amount of steel and the concrete that goes into these buildings that have to do with federal, there's no way that building could have come down at that time that fast, and it would never come down straight. That's only when you do demolition. It brings it straight down, and
So the way that they say that it was like a piano, like not a piano, like a harpsichord or whatever the fuck. So
they were trying to say that the building was built to withstand an earthquake. That's bullshit. New York doesn't get earthquakes, so they was never built that way that it would that the beams would move a certain way so they can collapse all the way down. Nah, right. Never built like that. Trust me on that. That I know.
Okay, all right.
So what you want to take from that is up to you.
Those skyscrapers, even from back in the days, all those skyscrapers were made a certain way that if if it was a plane, they've always had a theory that a plane could hit it,
Right.
and it should be able to take the impact.
Let me
So
put it to you, not to cut you off, Bear, but let me put it to you this way. The Empire State Building has been hit by a plane, and it did not come down. Look it up. And that building was built in the 30s. And the towers were built in the 70s. So there's no way that it would have came out. And the gas and the jet fuel would have not eaten all that things to bring it all that down that fast.
And also, Lee, there was this little gorilla that walked up the Empire State Building. His name was King Kong, and he didn't fucking knock down that building. So what the fuck?
That's a strong building, man.
Rick,
Empire State.
King Kong climbed the Empire State Building, and then he came back and climbed the towers.
That's right, he did.
Bring it down.
He did.
But he tested both buildings.
And he knocked on him and said, "Fucking King Kong approved this bitch."
Yep. King Kong approved.
The only motherfucker that can knock that shit down is Godzilla.
Yeah. Wait a minute. When you saw, were you working construction back in 2001, or were you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So when
I
saw
it
hit,
the first,
you would have. Yep.
I saw the second plane hit the thing because I was working close to the World Trade Center, and the sad thing was, the only thing I'm going to say that was sad, that hurt me, that there was a gentleman that was a carpenter. He has 6 months to retire. There was a young kid that was supposed to go hang some doors at a job over and he didn't show up to work. So the guy said, "I'll go," because the kid didn't come in. "I'll go hang the doors."
That's
that's
a twist of fate. All right.
That was it. That kid was so devastated the next like 3-4 days later when we came back to the job, that he says that he left the business. Yeah, because he said that poor man died because I didn't come to work.
So when that building came down, I know they would have gotten everyone out of the area, right? So that probably has a meaning to you as well. But I'm assuming that would be what you would do if an event happened.
Yeah.
When you saw it come down, the way it came down, was it right away? You went, "That's not fucking right."
Right away. It took a while because there was still a commotion. Because I remember clearly when the smoke, we were doing a penthouse and we got to see clear vision of it. And he was and then this crazy guy that what the fuck? I think his name was Charlie. This crazy carpenter that he's always do. He came and said, "Yo, something hit the Empire, the towers because there's smoke coming out." We put 1010 News. 1010 did not report a plane. They said it was a helicopter first.
Right.
And we thought it was Eyewitness News because Eyewitness News was one of those newscasts that used to have a helicopter.
Yeah.
We were all standing there. We actually saw the plane like silence come across and hit the second one. When they hit the second one, all of us said, "This is bullshit. We're all out of here." We weren't ones that stood around to look and stuff. We started heading up.
Yeah.
And we winded up getting on the last D train out of Manhattan before they closed. They actually sealed off Manhattan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that must have been like end of the fucking world type of shit, right?
No, it was, man. I mean, I got dispatched there the next day. They had us going down there to do security in the area, during where Ground Zero was at. And I remember me and my partner, we were like one block up. We had the corner of Vesey and Broadway. And we said, "Yo, let's go take a look." We went to take a look at it. And when you know how you would say about accidents, they look like movies. It looked like a movie. It looked like something out of a Terminator movie. That's how. Yeah, it was just like I couldn't believe what I was looking at, and the smell was crazy because that was my first. That would be your first time, if you were in that area at the time, what it smelled like to actually smell a burnt body.
Wow.
Those people were incinerated.
Yeah, that's right.
So you smelled burnt bodies. You knew what it was, that you could just imagine what that the air quality was like. And I remember, it was crazy. A lot of people, I worked with, they got sick, being exposed to the the stuff from the buildings and stuff like that. And I still check myself every year to make sure, because there's people who were getting sick years later because of being exposed to a lot of stuff down there.
So as
But
a cop, would you have been? Were you in any way, shape, or form in a area or place where you might have been dispatched to that building where a lot of the people
oh no,
died?
no, no, no. I was working in the Bronx. I was in the
Oh, okay.
Bronx. Yeah, yeah. The next day, they pretty much threw everybody
Everyone.
down.
Yeah.
Because what happened was that of course, we talk about Americans. Some of the Americans. There was a lot of them who are just pure pricks and
Hmm.
assholes. That once they got everybody out of Manhattan on 9/11, I'm talking about the actual day. There was people breaking into the apartments and looting
Oh yeah. Yeah.
because there's nobody in the buildings.
Hmm.
Everybody was gone. So there was people breaking into apartments and they were stealing and doing all sorts of stupid stuff.
Hmm.
So they dispatched us down there to do security when they were allowing people to go back to their residence, so we had to check their IDs, make sure they were okay to go back or whatever. And
Hmm.
yeah, that's what we were doing at the time. But yeah, it was a surreal moment, just
Mm.
part of it and witnessing it to see it. Like I said, the sight and the smell will never leave me till the day I die. That's as close to war as you're gonna
Yeah.
get, that feeling of war
Yeah.
and the smell of burnt bodies. That'll never leave my mind.
Well, it's crazy, man. It stopped the world, and I remember exactly where I was when it happened. And it's amazing that like I live so close and I've never been there, but you guys were on the fucking ground floor almost, right? Like you were right there when it went down. It's like one of those events in my lifetime, which is probably the most significant as far as how it changed everything, right? And that'll
Yeah,
be spoken about, many, many years into the future when they say something, this was a pivotal event in how the world changed. Like
yeah,
that was ours.
yeah. It changed everything as far as the way you view security on all levels.
Yeah,
That's when
yeah,
America gave away their freedom
Yeah,
because
yeah,
yeah,
that's when they got panicky and then they told the government protect us. Oh, we need
yeah.
protection, and the government said, "Hell yeah, we're gonna protect." You.
Eh,
That was the
give me your phones, baby.
idea. Phones. That's when the idea, the real ID that's happening now,
Yeah,
that came from that. People
yeah,
think it's now. No, they had that plan a long time, and now it's going. It was supposed to go into effect, but the pandemic came. It shortened 3 years of it, but it was supposed to go into effect 3 years ago. So now
yeah.
pushing it, yeah, and stuff. But
Crazy, fucking crazy, man.
but
You
like
know.
we can leave that for another show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
We'll
I was
do a
gonna say,
conspiracy
dude.
theory episode.
Let's cut
Yeah,
this
let's
portion
do
of
it.
it because then
We
we'll
don't.
start going into aliens, and Tone will keep us here till 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Definitely.
Lee definitely got to come back for some more because Lee.
Oh, dude.
He's past the trilogy. He's gonna have. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
franchise.
yeah.
Dude, the next one we got to do the round table. Everyone has to sit in the same room
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and drinks, and we can do the Jack Daniels rye maybe or something like that. We can score
I'll
to that, and then we can move to
back.
horror, and then we can move to conspiracy. Definitely.
Yep.
Somewhere in there, I have an album out, but if you don't need that, fucking this is way cooler than the fucking album's ever gonna be.
Oh yeah.
All right, yo, Rich, Tone. I mean, if you guys got any last ones for Lee, man, get them out.
I got a.
Yeah, yeah.
I got a book here, but that's for part 3, bro.
All
Part 3.
Yes.
How you,
All right.
Rich?
Lee, I was gonna ask you. Every time that I see you, your immaculate beard is getting longer and longer. How long are you gonna let that fucking beard grow?
Till I can go outside pants. So I can take my pants off and you can't see my dick. I think that's going to be where it stops. Did you ever see that Monty Python? Is it fucking Lord of Life of Brian? And it's got that guy, he's got the beard, he's got no pants on, and you can't see anything because his beard's there. That one. I want to go that far.
Okay.
So I can plait it. And even though I've never gone to Norway and I've got no Norwegian blood, I'm going to say I'm a Viking anyway. That's what I'm going to fucking do.
We're all.
You never know, man. I'm sure the Vikings made their way to Australia at some point. You never know.
They did. They did. If I say they did. Yep. Yep. 100%.
There. You never know.
And then Lee, just real quick, because I know we in our interviews we go all over the place. Just to refresh the people, if they want to get the CD, any information as far as social media, band camps, please give that information out.
Anything Warhammer 666 you can pick up at FomorianProductions.com. Everything that I've got left, everything that I ever do is put onto that site. Okay, that is everything's live, ready to go. If you see something on there that you got any questions, shoot us an email. Miss A answers all of them.
Yeah.
You can work out deals. You can do anything. I am looking for overseas distribution. I'm not looking for you to put fucking money into it. I'm just looking for someone to sell it overseas. I get a lot of people saying, "Can we buy it over here?" And I'm like, "No, you can't. You got to buy it off Fomorian." So, but anything for me, the new album's out. It's on FomorianProductions.com. We have the YouTube that's just gone live with, at the moment, 2 of the Warhammers. It's going to have the Kai, it's going to have the Inebriated Winds and the Ghoulish Daves and everything on that. Instagrams is just, you can find us, Warhammer 666 or Fomorian. Inebriated Winds, everyone's got their own stuff except for Kai, because for some reason he hasn't figured out where the Instagram button is. And he's got fucking nothing. We've told him 1,000 times to get it, but he won't do it. So, Paul, if you're listening, Instagram, Instagirl, whatever it is. But yeah, look, I thank you guys. This is such a fun show to fucking do. It's diverse as far as what you come in here to talk something. It's like, fuck that. We're just going to talk something.
Yeah, man. It's all about having a good time, man. It's all about having a good time.
Yep. And
it's
I want
such
to
a great
remind
show.
people that Warhammer 666 was on Necron show. If you want to see the replay on that aired this past Tuesday. He also did the Shredbeard stream, which was on Thursday, and tomorrow night, Warhammer 666, the promotion tour continues with Metal Ben at night on Sunday, May the 4th.
Yeah, we're gonna sleep. I'm gonna put you into sleep on the Monday.
Lots of coffee.
Yeah, I'm only doing 2 hours because I got to go to work the next day. So Benny can do whatever he wants after that. But I said I start at 10 o'clock Eastern time. I said I'll go till 12, and then I got to go to bed because I'm a grumpy old bear when I get up if I haven't had any sleep. So the first 2 hours, and we've got a special announcement on that show too. So please, I just got a text from him as I was watching. I saw the text rock down from Shred. So something's happened. I haven't read it, but I'll get to find out if that's going to be legit or not. But you'll see it on the socials between here and there. And,
okay.
It should be exciting. I'm hoping it's good news. So,
all right.
Fingers crossed.
All right, Tone, you got something else real quick?
I just want to say that it's always a pleasure with you, Lee.
Yeah.
We'll be touching base. I can't wait to come up to New York to hang with me and my cousin and Bear. I'll sneak him out of the house.
Definitely coming.
And what you call, we'll continue our partying. You know how we do it.
That's how we do it. That's how you guys join in.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for that. That'll be a good day.
Right now, the game plan, Lee, is this. We're going to grab something to eat. We're going to get some drinks. We're going to hit some historic places that you might want to check out. And then hopefully, if the stars align, we'll probably check out a show and see what the night leads us into.
Yep.
Definitely.
From night to light.
Yep.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Thank you guys so much again. Thank you.
All right, Lee, man, again, from all of us, thank you very much for coming on. And we'll plan out part 3 eventually, man. We got to get part 3.
We'll put some time in.
That's a trilogy, bro.
We're going to do it.
All right, brother. But thanks a lot, man. I want to thank Lee for coming on and thank my partners, Rich and Tone. And again, thanks again, Lee. And we'll be seeing you shortly. All right. This is Barry. That's the Metal Show. Stay brutal.